Hello, lovely people. Welcome to Roll Together. Thank you for joining us at twitch.tv/D&D and twitch.tv/RollTogetherRPG. I'm George. I will be your DM for the next roughly 3 hours, let's say. And we're playing Dungeons & Dragons. What is Dungeons & Dragons? It is a tabletop role-playing game. Each of the 5 lovely people around me will be playing an individual character in a shared fantasy world. I, on the other hand, will be playing everything else, like the rest of the world, the characters they meet. I'll be describing events, scenarios, stuff that happens. Then they decide what they're going to do about it. Between them, me, and the rule set and rolling some dice, we figure out what happens, how that works. Yes, as I say, there'll be sometimes rolling some dice, as will I. Broadly speaking, high numbers are good, low numbers are bad. So yes, the most common dice we roll is a D20, 20-sided dice. Roll them one up. Usually I'll call on the players to do something if it's a thing that they don't know they can succeed at for sure. They'll look at their character sheet, which is a sort of a statistical representation of what their character is good and bad at, and they will add or take away a number from their dice roll, and we just go with it from there. So now it's probably a good time for aforementioned players to introduce themselves, give their pronouns if they wish, and to introduce their characters. So it'd be good to hear your character's name, their class and species, and how they're doing. Like what's going on with them as of now. Starting with Natalie, please.
Hello, I'm Natalie. I use she, her pronouns. I'm playing Balka Heartsong, who also uses she, her pronouns. She is a human Path of the Ancestral Guardian barbarian. She's a lady in her later years who's come to adventuring now that all her kids have grown up and have kids of their own. Came from a rural farming tribe background, so... big cities. She's very excited to be on her way to a big city because it's not something that's hugely in her experience.
Cool, thank you. Niall.
Hi, I'm Niall. I use he, him pronouns, and I play Baldur. She is a ranger who is best known for closing a portal to her village of Greenest for some sort of interdimensional invasion. She was missing for a few months, but managed to make it back to her family. She runs a little mercenary business with her husband when they take it in turns to go out on jobs whilst looking after their son. One of them will stay at home, one of them will go and do work, and then occasionally they have holidays and they'll go up to Baldur's Gate and see their extended family. So yeah, that's bad. It's very wholesome. That's the kind of vibes I'm going for.
Excellent. Ed.
Hello, my name's Ed. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character, Bjorka Jordash, who is actually technically from Baldur's Gate, although he doesn't know where he's technically from exactly, because he's a high half-elf bard, and he grew up in Baldur's Gate, and then his house got burned down, possibly not entirely to do with him, and then he had to go into a parallel dimension to try and save the universe, or at least that's what he likes to tell people.
Fantastic. G.
Hi, I'm G. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm playing 355, who also uses... who uses they, them pronouns, sorry. 355 is a Warforged Genie Warlock, and was built by one of the keepers in Elturel, is kind of finding it quite interesting being on a ship with all these
nutters,
kind of just interesting characters that 355 is kind of like seen around, but like always been sort of discouraged a bit, I think, from really getting to know people. So this is quite an adventure.
New territory. Yeah. Cool. And Rebecca, yes, please.
Hello, I am Rebecca and I play Veracity Tallow. We both use she, her pronouns. Veracity is a wildfire druid and a gnome. She lives and works in Elturel, kind of doing odd jobs and knocking a lot of things over. This is her first time out and about, and she is very much enjoying being around people who seem to like her and the free license to burn.
I mean, when you say free license,
don't disabuse her of it, at least not yet.
I haven't set fire to any of you yet, and we're on episode 3.
And we're very grateful.
Yeah, so that's what we're working with here. Today's stream is going to be about 3 hours. There'll be a break roughly in the middle. It's all improvised, so we don't. It'll be around the middle, as close as we can get anyway. But before that, we have to talk about some of our lovely sponsors and supporters. First up is Hero Forge, who make these fantastic, magnificent custom miniatures. I hope you can see that clearly on here. We'll be seeing more of these throughout the stream. This is Valka. I'll do both. In fact, this is Baldur. There we go. They are quite different, as you can see. Yes, so here, of course, you can build these lovely, intricate miniatures of your characters, your NPCs, whatever you want, really. They support a wide variety of different styles and game systems. It's not just the sort of fantasy-focused worlds that D&D tends towards most. You've also got modern world, science fiction, clockworky, steampunky type stuff, lots of really cool options. We've done videos with all of the people here making these very miniatures using the Hero Forge Builder. So if you go over to our YouTube channel, which is YouTube Roll Together RPG, you can see the process of building them, and then you can go ahead and make your own. Go to heroforge.com, try it out. It's really, really fun, to be honest. Next up is Ultrapro. Ultrapro is a different side of the physical tabletop and physical tabletop accessories. So for D&D, that means dice. I'm using a lovely set of antique metal dice today. Always awkward to hold up to camera without pouring onto my desk. You've also got character sheet wallets, you've got card sleeves if you're using things like spell cards or condition cards, and same with other game systems. If you play a lot of board games or Magic the Gathering or anything like that, you can get card wallets and card sleeves and all these useful things. So you can, you can find all of that and more on ultrapro.com. D&D Beyond are one of our supporters. You can see on the left-hand side of the screen an overlay which has the character sheets for all the characters today, so you can take a look and see what's sort of under the hood there. We're also supported by Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, which is a licensed D&D strategic video game. We have for you a chest code, which I think is at the bottom of the screen, or you can type !code into chat to get that. We also are supported by Level Up Dice with these lovely giant table-shaking dice for making the big smashies. And also this week we are delighted to be supported by Warriors of Waterdeep, which is an official tactical team-based dungeon adventure mobile game for Dungeons and Dragons. If you like Idle Champions, you'll definitely enjoy Warriors of Waterdeep. If you like Warriors of Waterdeep, you'll definitely enjoy Idle Champions. For Warriors of Waterdeep, we have 2 codes for each day. I think the shortcut codes are at the bottom of the screen. You can type !Warriors of Waterdeep into chat to get the link to download the game if you do not already have it. You can also type !WOW gems, and that should give you a link to receive free gems. The instructions should be on the bottom of the screen, so go and do that. We're on social media. We're on social media pretty much everywhere as Roll Together RPG, so Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the rest. We're also on Patreon. We have a new-ish Patreon. You can join our growing D20 club, as we're calling it. So you can get our newsletter and help support this show and all the others that we do, and help us build towards unlocking more rewards, like a community Discord server and more backing tiers on Patreon. And the show is also available as a podcast. So you can search Roll Together RPG on your favorite podcast grabbing app of choice. You can find the previous episodes of this show. So if you're not up to date, that's a good way of doing it. You can also find our other shows, all the ones that are running at the moment. Everything should be up to date in there. A few days after this appears on Twitch, it should show up on your podcast apps. So go and subscribe to those and find us there. Finally, we play with a diverse group of players who play a diverse set of characters with wide-ranging sexual and gender identities. Our tables are trans-positive, and we encourage and champion trans players and characters in our games. The DM and players may portray characters that are of a different gender to their own. We do aim to avoid misgendering, but acknowledge that it does sometimes happen, and have a company policy in place for correcting people on this. So if we do miss an instance of misgendering, we are going to be corrected, so please let us know in the chat or via one of our various channels, and we can look to correct that in future. And with that, we are ready to see what mysteries and adventures await this time in Seekers of Elturel Buried. last time on Seekers of Elturel Buried, the party said their goodbyes to the Elturel Athenaeum and Academy Arcane, known for short as the Athenaeum, for now at least, as they prepared to journey to Baldur's Gate to make an exchange with a mysterious collector of art and artifacts. They seek to access the Hedge Maze, a demi-plane that comes into the reach of the material world only once in a blue moon. To do this, they need to be in a particular place at a particular time, and they need a key. Unfortunately, the key that they did have access to in the Athenaeum, in the archive of their employer, Keeper Cade, has been stolen. So they're trying to get hands on the other one that is said to exist. They hitched a ride aboard the Bloody Devil, a ship captained by one Kate Belfan, and headed up the river Keonthar from Elturel to Baldur's Gate. En route, they were attacked in the night by shadow demons, assisted in their assault by some mischievous imps who were responsible for extinguishing several lamps on board, making it easier. Holdovers, perhaps, from the fall of Elturel. Party and crew saw off the attack, which did cost the life of one crew member, and have continued on their way towards Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate. Not Baldur's Gate, it's Baldur's Gate. I know this. And that's where we'll join them. So last time, yes, we ended pretty soon after this attack. The dust had barely settled. So we'll pick up pretty much from exactly there. So you'd had time to take stock a little bit. You'd had time to kind of take account of the crew member who was downed and check on everyone else. There were others injured, but everyone else has been sorted out. Where is everybody? What are you up to? I'll do a quick round and see where you'll find yourself in this sort of the settling moment after this rather surprising battle. Baldur.
So, as far as I remember, Valka had just raised the point of, wait, there was a scream. It's not just that there were shadow demons here. Someone is in trouble or was in trouble. But when she was fighting on the lower deck, she didn't have dark vision, so she couldn't see the shadow creature. And what you've just spoiled and revealed to us is a body. Not.
I thought we'd established this firmly by the end.
How do we?
It was somebody had said they were probably dead.
Right. Okay.
I thought it had been absolutely confirmed. You haven't done an examination of them, to be fair.
No, not yet. No.
No, actually, I think someone had. I believe someone had run over and checked and had found them not alive.
Had they?
I may be fabricating memories entirely. This is.
What was the doctor's cause of death?
Shadow demon. I think that's isn't it? Yeah.
Just like a cranky shit doctor with a cane.
Well, in the moment since the battle, it has indeed been confirmed that this crew member was fatally injured by this thing. They've been brought up to the top deck.
Right, okay.
You're welcome to continue engaging with us directly. Like this is a moment still in motion. But you don't have to either.
In that case, if the crew member has been brought up to the deck, Valka will approach the captain, Kate Belfan, from my notes, I believe.
Yes.
And say, I'm so sorry. Who were they?
Kate, for those who don't recall, is a tiefling with sort of frosty coloured skin, quite slender and lean, and yes, they were Cece. They've been here not that long, but the demons have not attacked this way before. Not so brazenly.
You have had attacks by these demons before, though.
Yes, they come at night, but we put on the lights and they stayed away, but it seems they seem to have found a way to skirt that.
Is there any reason why they would attack Cece in particular, or do you think it's just wrong place, wrong time?
I think she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, but no, she wasn't even with us during the fall. It's not. I believe they target this ship because of the name, because of the heritage, but it's a shame.
It is that. Is there anything we can be doing to assist you?
I'll have the crew sweep the ship. You're welcome to join them, but I think we've driven them off. We'll say some words once we're sure the situation is in hand.
I think unless anyone else is party to this conversation, Valka would just accompany one of the crew members to go.
Cool. Now we'll do a quick round and see where everybody is. So, Baldur, what are you up to at this point?
Probably just on deck. Not really fazed by any of this. She's just stood kind of enjoying the rest of the night air as much as she can. If people ask her for anything, she'll happily respond and help out, but she doesn't seem like this is something that would bother her too much. She's used to death by the looks of things.
Cool. Viorica, where is Viorica at?
I think Viorica will head up. So there was a thing that Viorica used to do in Baldur's Gate, which is when everything got a bit much for him, he would go up to the top of the tallest tower in the house where he used to live and sing, because that is what he used to love to do. And I think it's because he was up so high, people wouldn't complain about it, no matter how loud he was. So he was going to try and go up the tallest mast on the tallest mast on the ship and sing a lament for the fallen crew member. It's going to be to Lathander, his own personal god, and if anyone tells him to stop, he will.
Okay. It's not a terribly tall mast, because it's a relatively small ship as these things go, but you can find your way up there easily. Yep. It's designed to be shimmied up there. There is a crew member who was keeping watch up there. He sort of takes a look at you, starts slipping down the ladder. There's not a lot of space. There's not space for you to both rack, and they're happy to, as they think, be relieved of that role for now, given that it's dark and there's not a lot to be sitting at here. And you start a lament. Is this all? It must be a song. Do you extemporize? Do you improvise, or does he tend to sing things he knows by rote?
It would be yeah. Well, okay. So he's he's not much of an extemporizer. He can come up with sort of, folk ditties, if you see what I mean. But this would be a religious lament that he is doing of the god Lathander, who is his main god, and has what are they called? Amulets around his neck of them, and all of that kind of stuff. And it is a lament which he has heard before from that, which is one of those. I like to think of it as one of those sort of low keening wake things from Irish mythology.
Okay, yeah.
And that's how I'm imagining it.
And Lathander's the god of the dawn, well, among other things, I think the dawn, is that right? Have I got that right? Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Cool. We will come back to that in a moment. 355, how are you dispositioned?
I think I would have gone up to the deck when the dead person was taken up there, and would be helping the crew do a kind of sweep of the ship.
Got it. And Veracity?
Veracity has never seen a dead person before, so she's not super happy about this. So she is keeping a wide berth, and if I remember correctly, her wildfire spirit is still up. I don't think she got rid of it. So she'll call it back over the edge of the boat, and then just hand in hand, she and the spirit are going to go around and relight all the torches on the boat.
Yeah, you preempt. I think you understand the language anyway. But after the brief exchange with Valka, the captain is issuing orders to that effect, but sees that you're doing it, and doing it quite effectively and quickly. Lets the crew get on with other things and instructs them to do a sweep of the ship to make sure you're actually alone there now, even though the creatures appear to have been driven off. So 355 and Valky, I think you said you were going to help with this as well, and you're welcome to if you want to.
Is Veracity clearly upset? Like, would you be able to notice?
I think so. She's not in tears, but she is, she's silent, which is a change. And looking a bit shell-shocked, maybe.
Yeah, I think Baldur will definitely come up to you after you've finished doing what you're doing. She'll just sort of saunter up casually and just be like, "Hey there, how you doing?"
I thought this was going to be fun. I sort of didn't think about the thing where people might die.
No, that's totally reasonable. We tend to get carried away with fun sometimes, and we forget that there's consequences to life. But that's okay, that's part of life, Everybody has their time, and everybody will meet that time. And there's nothing you can do about that. But continue to have fun. Enjoy yourself. Don't let it stop you from smiling, you know? You can let it rest in you and see the consequences for what they are, and the negative aspect of it, but you gotta remember that life's not all bad. All right, kiddo?
Like the stone in the fire. Yeah. Can you come with me for a minute?
Yeah.
Veracity will walk back to the body and then just druidcraft flowers just around the body. They'll only last a few seconds, but just to do something. And then we'll turn and walk back to the fire. Thank you.
No worries. She'll pat you on the shoulder, be like, that's a nice gesture.
Crew take note of it as well. Like it's seen, however brief, it is seen that you're taking care to do it. 355 and Valka, if you could make investigation rolls, you can use perception if you prefer, but you're helping out the crew with the just a simple sweep.
I guess I would roll perception. I would ask Doc to give me an investigation of area.
Absolutely. Could you remind me?
Perception is 6.
Hey!
Do you remind me of Doc's modifier for investigation?
7 for investigation.
Cool. And for anyone watching who might not remember, might not have seen previously, Doc is 355's docent, which is...
Yes. It's a sentient thing, basically, the sentient consciousness that can look at stuff and do a couple of other useful things that, as a warforged, that can be sort of like installed in my body, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, exactly, in fact. Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Would Valka, just because in the fight we definitely kind of crossed paths but didn't kind of stay in the same room, and then when you had Doc out when you were investigating the warehouse, Valka wasn't there. Has 355 had Doc out and about ambiently before? Has Valka actually
so
seen it before? Nobody
else hears or sees anything from Doc.
Right, okay.
Doc communicates with me telepathically, and so nobody else can communicate with, I think, him, let's say. I don't think we decided on that. So
whatever gender, they have the voice of Danny Dyer.
It is the most important thing about it.
So I think it would just be, you might hear me just say, Doc, can you give me, and you might hear me talking, or would you? I don't know if I say that.
That's up to you. It's up to you, yeah.
Yeah, it's up to you, but if you do, then...
I don't think I do.
Okay, fine.
It's a weird side eye.
If you want to do that, I guess depending on how insightful you are, you might be able to tell that they are communicating with, like, just from their body language. I mean, maybe not. Yeah. I don't know, but like if that's what you're looking, if you're looking for some in there, like.
I would say that there's some sort of outward, like you can see I'm like having a conversation almost, but maybe it's like a conversation in my head, or like, you don't know.
Fine. I think that just adds to the list of things. Valka is very much still trying to figure 355 out, and that just adds to the intrigue, I think. So yeah, I rolled a 10 on perception, but that possibly reflects how she's slightly distracted, still being like, it's really interesting. I'd feel rude if I asked. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. With the Doc's investigation modifier is
plus 7.
Plus 7. Okay, well that was a 23 total. I'm not picking anything up. Got some magic scanning going. Nothing. No, nothing. Squire seems clear, which is good. I mean, the two of you are probably not very as in 355 and Balka. The crew members who are with and around you search a little bit more confidently than you do. They're used to the nooks and crannies of what should be there and what is sort of what may seem temporary to you, like a barrel, but is actually like a permanent fixture on the ship there. They sort of have a sense of where these spaces are. So you're a little slow. You don't feel like you've covered the ground that well, but by the evidence of your own eyes, as well as Doc's word for 355, you don't feel there's anything else lingering here.
I think Valka might ask one of the crewmates, How frequently does this happen? Does this happen every time you forge this river?
Not every time. Just it's after dusk. Sometimes on this route, it's. We think there are Captain thinks there are little pockets of these things left from the fall, but how can there still be this many out there? Right? It's just weird.
That's something that someone needs to address. It can't just be this boat that it affects, surely.
Well, we've spoken to others, and they do seem to attack randomly sometimes, but they seem to prefer the bloody devil. History.
I suppose so.
You give me a hand with this. Gestures at the shadow demons that have been destroyed. The one you destroyed that didn't escape. I think it has left a. Body is perhaps the wrong word because it was sort of amorphous stuff. It has left a vestige of itself. Slime. Yeah, well, it's got some cohesion. Like it is like a sort of like cloth. I think more than liquid. It's a sort of a fabric of shadow lying around. Captain will want to string these up on the front on the hull. It's surprisingly heavy. It's got a metaphysical weight. Like it's not really difficult to move, but you expect something insubstantial like the creatures themselves were. But it's again like cloth, like fabric. It has this sort of hull to it.
Well, yes, then absolutely. She'd tentatively, but if they don't seem to think it would harm her by picking it up, then she.
It's safe. It'll be gone by dawn. But the captain likes to make a show of it,
Of course,
on the hull.
Yeah. And she would do so.
Cool. You help haul it up. The captain continues giving orders. Translates for you this time into exactly what the crew member has primed you to expect. Is that stringing this up on the hull with threads and ropes for as long as it will last. The same with the bodies of the couple of imps that were destroyed. Placed on the outside of the hull. We could have used someone like you during the fall.
Sorry, had other priorities.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. I didn't mean like that. Yeah. Thanks.
She gives them a firm pat on the shoulder.
They accept it with the stoicism of a sailor who is not. Yeah, that sort of soldiery style of a bit like, yes, this is a good expression of emotions. I approve. And goes about their business. Viorica, if you would please make a performance check for me.
With pleasure. Ooh, that's a 27.
Ooh. Nailed it.
Yeah, that'll do.
Feel free to describe it, but yes, from above, a beautiful, mournful song fills the air of the ship.
The problem is that the thing this is a reference, I don't know how much we should do this, but I wanted to be like, Young Men of the Hill, but opposed, which I think is like a traditional song anyway, and it's basically a lament for how annoying it is when someone you love gets caught up in stuff that isn't supposed to be anything to do with them. And it's a sort of keening thing, and as I believe most sort of Celtic things are meant to be heard, it's sort of a long way off and in the wind, as opposed to like right up next to you. I feel like this is the best way for bagpipes to be, is like at the other end of the valley.
Made better by distance. I mean, the mast works for you on this score because it distributes the sound nicely, but it carries beautifully. Everyone on the deck, everyone on the ship, even below decks, everywhere hears it, and you assume you don't know who's nearby. It's hard to tell on the river at this time. You don't know if there are ships passing nearby. If you're passing houses, it's just hard to tell. But anyone nearby will pick up this song, and the lights on the deck, which Veracity and the Spirit have been relighting, they get a sort of extra lambent glow to them. There is that kind of
amazing.
It's subtle, but it's that kind of like that slight I don't know what to call it, the diffusion effect where you get with the sun coming up over the horizon. That sort of point where it's brighter than it appears because of this sort of light escaping over an edge. That's what the edge of the ship feels like while you're singing.
That would be amazing. This is kind of a performance highlight for him, which he wasn't expecting. And the light, that's awesome.
And for the most part, that moment past, the crew go about their business for the time being. The captain said that there would be some words said later, but there appear to be things to do, things to clear up. That kind of the busyness of the work sort of kicks back in, and you'll kind of, I mean, you'll be, if you wish to help with things, you'll be included, but no one's making a special effort to drag you into things. They sort of feel like you've done a decent bit for what it's worth. Crew member comes up to you, Baldur. you still hanging out on the deck? You still sort of looking?
Yeah, probably just
Pretty
like
chill
munching
about
on
the
some rations. Yeah, just like you get a bit snacky and you don't want to eat the whole ration. You just have like, look.
You've got trail mix. Is that what it is? Yeah, breaking it into little pieces.
It's actually dog snacks for the dogs. Just didn't have time to pack anything else. So.
They sort of come up to you and lean on the rail, kind of elbows over the side a little bit, and they look a bit expectantly at the snacks.
Bada is like, you okay?
Any of that going?
Yeah.
Takes a handful. Oh, this is terrible. What is this, for dogs or something?
Yeah.
They look at you with this sort of mixture of they're trying to work out if you're taking the piss or not. In fact, they give you a grin, point, yeah, and then take another handful. Shovel it in.
That's such a power move. That's hilarious.
You were good at it. Yeah, the thing with the rope, that was good.
Oh yeah, nice.
You do a lot of that, a lot of the buckling of swashers, that kind of thing.
Well, I try and have fun when I can,
I was going to say it looked like fun from the outside. I think if I'd been on the end of that rope, I'd be probably somewhere back there in the water.
Well, that's why you got to tie it around your hand. That way, if you lose your footing, you're still hanging from your arm. You might dislocate your shoulder, but we'd have sorted that out.
This is very specific. Have you done? You've done a lot of this. Okay, right. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's good to have a professional around. I'm gonna make a note of that.
No worries. And you are?
Oh, Orcha.
Okay, and you part of this crew, Orcha?
Yeah, been around. Been around the block. Been with Skipper since, ages now.
Okay. And you were there during the fall? Yeah.
About half the people here were.
Okay. Can I just insight this person to just kind of get a vibe check?
Oh yeah, totally. Vibe check roll. Would you please make a vibe check roll?
Where does this come from?
No, they are being a bit odd. Like they're not. They're sort of hovering. But see what the roll is first.
15. 15.
All right. Yeah, for any of the audience who are less familiar, an insight roll is a good way of. It's a skill that characters have, and it's a measure of how much. No, actually, I can't describe it better than how Niall already has, which is it's a vibe check. It's trying to get a read on someone. Like, that can be like super specific, trying to read body language. It can be trying to tell if people are lying, or it can just be what is this? It's reading more into a situation, and doing well at it usually gives additional context that the person isn't going to say. In this case, they're kind of. They are hovering a bit, like they're sort of working up to saying something, and they're not really sure if they want to, but they're sort of they're being a bit, they're dithering. Like you don't get the impression that this is the person who dithers a lot, but they're dithering and they're not comfortable with it.
Yeah, but it's just as they're having this polite conversation, Balder's just slightly just lean back a little bit and stretch, and then relax into a position. She just goes, "Look, I feel like you have something to say. Usually people don't just kind of come up to have dog snacks."
I thought that was a bit. That wasn't a bit. I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what to, look. We usually get, after these things, we usually get a bit of shore leave. I don't know if we'll get it in BG, but we might get it back at Elturel. But I wondered if you wanted to maybe grab a drink or something that's not dog snacks, like bar snacks.
All right. No, that's very nice of you.
No, I shouldn't know. You're busy.
Okay. I'm married is all. Orcha, sorry.
With an H.
I'm married is all. And then she holds up her ring finger.
Oh, I thought that was an adventuring thing, like a magic ring.
Yeah. Married. No, I am married. Yeah.
Oh no, no, great, thank you. Thanks for letting me down gently.
It's okay. You're a hot piece of ass. You'll find somebody out there,
They look at you. They're still on that quantum. They just don't know whether this whole thing is a bit or not. They like the dog snacks, and they make the intentional decision to take that as a compliment, and they nod, straighten themselves up, and walk away.
Yeah. Baldur looks around, just hoping somebody caught some of that conversation.
Oh, like any crew
like,
members
what?
who are on deck are pointedly not looking or listening. They definitely heard. They definitely heard.
I'm just gonna, if there's one within elbow distance, I'm just gonna elbow them and be like.
In fact, what's your passive perception, actually?
20.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah. While this conversation's been going on, there's been someone who's been coiling a rope, letting it back out again, and recoiling it just so they can stay like in easy distance.
I look directly at them and I just like shrug.
They roll their eyes. Yeah.
Took them a dog snack if they want.
A wedding ring as a piece of adventuring kit is my new favourite. Like,
Yeah.
That's gonna be my new pickup line.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise you were
Adventure and
married.
counting.
Love it. Cool. Yeah. So, Bjork, how long are you going to stay up there singing? Are you performing the song, coming down? Are you holding it for a while?
Well, okay. So I don't know when it was in the night that we did it, but he will have gone up to start the lament, and then if dawn breaks, he ain't coming down until it's already like fully broken, because it's his.
It'll be a little while yet. Like the attack happens shortly after dusk, like when it started getting proper dark again. So you've got most of the night to get through yet.
In which case, he's not going to be doing that. But the thing is, he will want to get up and greet the dawn, and maybe we'll.
Yeah, you'll have opportunity for that. Yeah,
but he'll go through the song once and then come back down and go off and want to be alone. that's his when he's just at a performance like that he does get a big sort of Greta Garbo on thing.
Hey, where are you trying to find? Because there's not that many places on the ship where you can be. I think you were keeping on deck before, right? Well, on deck in the one hammock for the sort of watcher on deck. There are hammocks on the middle deck, but they're very much not secluded.
And he's going to go down to where the hold. So the third deck down, or is it?
Yeah, the hold. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's going to go down because at least there it will be. Also, if there are any beasts on the thing, they'll be down there, and he will want to go and, as it were, commune with somebody, not necessarily talking to them, but like he would want to go and be with things that can't necessarily like emote,
right?
Because he is sad.
Okay, you're left alone. You're left alone down there. The rest of you are kind of free at this point. I mean, you can complete a long rest at this point, unless there's anything particular you want to do in between that, either talking amongst yourselves or talking to the crew or any of the above.
I'm just going to make it clear that I saved some dog biscuits for later. That's all I wanted to do.
Put dog biscuits in your character sheet.
It's a good point. We didn't eat any biscuits last episode, so thank you.
Okay. Yeah, we've got to keep the biscuit quota up.
What macaroons were mentioned about keeping them for this trip.
Yeah, but we didn't actually consume, so...
We've come a long way from macaroons to dog biscuits, I feel. That's...
Well, actually, no, the macaroons are for the demi-plane.
The expedition, they will be in the supply set for that.
Yeah, the dog biscuits were just a happy surprise.
I am.
Well, they were a surprise, yeah. Yes, feel free to mark on your sheets that you have, click the button on D&D Beyond and complete your long rest. Shortly before dawn, the crew will like politely make it known in that kind of way, like you don't have to be there, but just so you know if you want to, that the captain will be saying a few words about the dead crew member in the captain's cabin, where the body's currently being stored.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, yes. I mean, again, you're welcome. It's that's kind of like slightly like, no, this is happening. You don't have to. It's making it, trying to give you no sense of obligation, but also letting you know in case you feel bad that you've been excluded.
The Orca is keen to go in.
355 would be more than anything. They're interested in what this is. Like
in an anthropological sense,
yeah, exactly.
Baldur would definitely be there, yeah.
Yeah, if Veracity sort of sees everyone else going, she will poddle along.
Pretty much. Baldur would ask if Veracity wanted to go.
Oh.
So before like everybody, before Baldur would go to get there, she would come to Veracity and be like, "You gonna be okay with this? Do you want to go, or do you want to stay here and have somebody with you?"
I mean, it's not gonna be like a great time, but I'd want people to come if it was me, so we should go for someone else, right?
Well, at funerals from where I'm from, we do try and actually celebrate the life rather than mourn the death. So it is kind of a good time where I'm from, but here I feel like it's going to be a bit more quiet.
That sounds really fun. Please don't die.
Those are the best times.
Don't die, but if you do die, I'll make sure we remember that.
Exactly. I got too much stuff to do. Come on, let's boogie.
Okay. If I maybe need to hold your hand, would that be okay?
You can
it's fine
hold
if it's
it
not.
now if you want. It's here. It's ready for you. And then she's just like holding your hand, like her hand, like in front of your face, like playing with it.
Yes,
Like, it's here.
Reach up and hold Barda's hand and head in.
Oh, that's sweet.
So wholesome. I feel a bit sick.
Disgusting, isn't it?
The captain's cabin is packed. Like most of the crew there, there's enough not there to keep things moving smoothly and call out any problems. But it's kind of crammed. Like it's not designed to hold as many people, but you get the sense this will be a short affair. But it's a ritual thing. Thank you. None of us knew Cece that well. She was a recent joiner, but we'll bring her back to whatever family she has in Elturel when we return. But it's always good to share a moment to remember the person we knew, and if not the person we knew, then perhaps to wish we could have taken the time to know them better. That's all I have. Feel free to stay for as long as you want and take a moment and good work. We'll be in Baldur's Gate shortly after first light, so thank you. She claps her hand on the shoulder of someone as she walks out. Clearly not comfortable with the situation, but trying her best. Most of the priests
down at Veracity.
Sorry. Go ahead. No, I was just most of the priests.
Barda's just gonna look down at Veracity and squeeze your hand and be like, ready to go?
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you. That was very short. I feel like I made a bit of a fuss.
That's what you kind of learn, it's all part of the adventure. You got to learn to take each sort of moment as it comes. You can't plan ahead. You can't see what's going to come. You just got to get stuck in there, do your bit.
I want to be like you when I grow up.
Leave me, you don't want to be too like me.
No, with more fire,
yeah.
But otherwise.
No. I'm cool with that.
Cool.
Yeah, no, you're going to be a great person on your own. Don't worry about trying to be like me. Just keep being like you.
Thanks.
No worries. All right. Yeah, Barda's going to head out. You clap the same person on the shoulder.
They give you a look like, all right, yeah.
Veracity will obviously clap them on the back of the knees.
I like that idea. Bjorka is going to say a small prayer of Lathander over the body, not trying to make it too in your face, if you see what I mean, but it's for his thing of wanting to say something nice for the body, and then we'll move out again. And because the captain said about the first light thing, he's going to go up and wait where he was singing before for the dawn, because that is his holy time.
Cool.
Yep. 355 would sort of watch, just very interested in this whole everything that's happening and how different people are dealing with the death in different ways, and Bjorka's prayer, and the way that different crew members do different things. But then ultimately we'll leave and just go and stand on the deck and watch sunrise, I think.
Valka?
Probably kind of at the same time as all this is happening, Valka would probably be touching the ring that she wears. It's the ring of her clan, the ring of the ram as well, and just recite a kind of short incantation under her breath, which doesn't quite rhyme because I am not a professional writer and I did this just now. But something to the effect of, may you join with the ancestors in the great beyond. May your story be told by those that follow. Just as a little thing. And then she'd probably also walk up to the same person and having seen the line of people comforting them, just say, were you close?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
And then she'll also leave.
Yeah, by this point, most of the other people most of the crew have filed out. There are about 3 sticking around, including this person. You notice as you're leaving Baldur that some of the people have done roughly the same. Like for those other than those who stayed, they've done roughly the same thing as you, which is use it as there's a sort of personal moment to it as well. As much as the person itself, who's here. It's about remembering others and sort of reflecting on their own situations. And the 3 who are in there stay a while longer, but and shortly after that, the dawn comes. The demon hides, demon bodies, the shadow demon sort of remains along with the imps as the dawn comes. They don't quite catch fire in the classical Veracity Talos sense of the word, but they certainly ignite in a very brief flare of radiance and are gone. It's quite a sharp start to the day, as these things go. Viorica, the master, you're honouring the dawn in your own way, and you can see as the light comes up, you can see the great city of Baldur's Gate, pretty much just ahead of you. Like you're very, very close.
This is tears may be shed by Viorica, because this is a very weird thing. He didn't think he was going to be going back, certainly not that soon. And there are still a lot of very, very raw memories for him. Seeing he may never have. Yeah, thinking about it, he may never have come into the city from this angle before, if you see what I mean, by the sea. And so he may see it all almost as it were for the first time, even though it's a place that bore him, even though it's not his. It's not the place of his birth and all of that kind of stuff. He's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Did you say Viorica? Sorry, is Viorica still on the deck, or is Viorica back up in the crow's nest?
Well up at the top of the thing.
Is Baldur's Gate orders of magnitude times bigger than Elturel?
Not orders of magnitude. Elturel is still a sizable city, but Baldur's Gate is, I think, the biggest metropolis in this part of the Forgotten Realms. So, in Faerun, it's definitely one of the larger cities, and it definitely eclipses Elturel by a margin. So it will be a very striking experience. I mean, you may not have even come to Elturel in this kind of way, where you're seeing the whole thing ahead of you in this kind of way, that you have this more direct view coming from this river.
I mean, 355's not really been out of Elturel particularly, so this is quite a sight. And just the river and the countryside leading towards the city and everything is all quite new and stunning.
Yeah, as you pull towards the city, the quiet of the night, the quiet of the countryside, it gives way to this riot of sound and smells. The river docks are not busy compared to the sea docks of Baldur's Gate, but there is a significant amount of things that pass through this way, mostly from Elturel and the other places along the way. The crew sort of leap back into action after having had a slightly laissez-faire few hours. They're guiding the ship in and pulling up to its set of moorings and throwing out a gangplank. I assume at this point you're all gathering on the deck, ready to make your way.
Yeah,
the captain
just
will
gonna
come up to you. Yeah, go on.
Little check in the bag, just make sure everything's back to normal. I know that's probably not relevant, but I just in case. I don't trust you, Judge.
No. Yeah, everything is where it should be.
Cool.
The captain comes up to you, and all the group of you. My charter is to take you here and then back, so the ship is at your disposal. Try not to take, I guess, more than a few days. We're not paid for that much.
I don't think we've got that much time anyway, love.
That is my understanding, but I will wait until you get back or until a few days have passed. So, good luck.
Thank you. Thank you for doing your best to see us here safely. Enjoy your few days of rest, I hope you get.
I will be letting the crew go to the taverns nearby, but I need to keep them in grabbing distance in case you come back and need a sharp exit.
Yeah, I feel like a few of them are going to get up some mischief.
Sounds
it's possible. It's usual, in fact, after such an attack, but I'll try and keep the wheels on, as it were, until we're back in Elturel.
Yeah, let's try and get this done quick. I don't want to bump into the in-laws.
Oh, do they live here, do they?
Unfortunately, yes.
I see.
Let's go. Let's go.
As you're
Get out.
disembarking, Viorica, one of the Orcha, will grab your arm and present you with a wrapped package. This is from the captain. Well, the captain said you should probably have this.
Why, thank you. And we'll not open it there and then.
Yeah.
But
it's quite hefty. It's like a sort of I guess it's like a clothing sort of wrap package kind of thing in very cheap paper, probably, or whatever they had lying around. Some likely some slightly crappier cloth that was on the ship. So it's an effort's been made to wrap it up, but it's not well done. It's not well done at all. And the five of you cross the gangplank onto the docks. What do you do when you get on the docks? I mean, you know rough. I mean, you remind me, but you had a rough idea of what was to happen when you came here.
I personally need reminding. 355 knows.
You're meant to meet someone. There's someone meant to. Well, no, more to the point. Someone meant to meet you here.
Oh yeah.
Someone is supposed to approach us with a pineapple.
Pineapple!
That was it. Yes.
A sign that says pineapple or something.
Is there anyone on the dock wearing a pineapple?
No one is conspicuously wearing a pineapple, but there is a sort of slightly gangly figure in dark clothes, like you almost miss them because they're sort of almost sitting above you. They're reclining on a bunch of crates that have been unloaded from a nearby ship. I was expecting a bunch of stuffy academics, maybe some undergraduate lackeys out of their depth, but this is... I didn't expect the cast of a pastiche adventure novel. or you, Viorica. And Viorica, Theraval is, as described, languishing upon a bunch of crates. Like it's that kind of pose. They have an apple in one hand, which I guess fits in in an inappropriate way to the fruit-based context.
Is this? Sorry, just to clarify, is this my brother?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sibling,
Sibling. Sorry, I don't like this person. Okay, fine. So
I didn't come across from your initial reaction.
obviously. So the reaction is going to be, I don't know if anyone else here has had this. As the younger brother, going back and hanging out with the older brother means that you regress to being a 12-year-old. Do you know what I mean? That thing of all of the old insecurities and stuff bubble up. And in the case of Viorica and Theraval, this is awful. So Viorica basically turns into a gawky teenager before your very eyes. That's what's happening. Oh, well, I didn't realize you would be here either. Why? What's going on?
Well, I'd rather believe there was supposed to be a sort of fruit-based exchange. If they fling the apple at the group, just for anyone who wants to catch it.
No, I feel like Barda's gonna catch that and just be like, "Darling, you seem fruity enough." And then take a bite out of the apple.
Ooh, make a I guess probably wisdom saving throw. Actually, I think on this one.
A wisdom saving throw.
Oh, he's done something. They've done something with the damn apple.
There we go.
Oh, well, that's not good. That's a 7.
7. You take a big bite out of it. You get something in your teeth, and there's a pin. There's a large pin in the apple. You manage to avoid biting down on it in a way that hurts you, but it's been sort of wedged into one side.
What's the pin say?
Just like a sort of needlework pin.
Yeah, not a bad.
Just gonna take it out and just be like, didn't know you used apples in that way. Strange.
Nice.
An apple.
Oh, so you penetrate through regular?
No, is this not what you were? You asked for some strange countersign.
A pin apple.
Yes, I thought it was rather funny.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you, darling?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I would.
I'm guessing you know this one, Viorica?
This is my sibling, and I didn't realize that you were still... I thought they'd locked you up.
Still around, still... Oh, looking after myself, looking after things that need looking after, you know.
Yes, I think I do. If you're supposed to be the one who is meeting us, and you have your apple with a pin in it, could you take us to where we're supposed to go? Please?
No, but I can tell you where to go. I mean, I'm very happy to tell you where to go, but I can specifically tell you where to go. Do you have the item, the agreed price?
Viorica looks slightly shocked and then looks around at everybody else who doesn't do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, we haven't.
Well, let's see it then.
Unfortunately, I'm not meant to take it out of its box, but you can be rest assured that it's with me. She pats on her back.
Oh, but I wanted to see it.
I'm sure you would.
I guess I can send you on your way. You need to go to Jubilant's nightclub tonight and ask for Mr. Penterton. He'll have the item you seek.
Mr. Penterton, was that?
Penterton.
Sorry. In fact, no, sorry, was that Mr. Penterton?
Penterton. I can write it down if you have problems remembering.
Yes, that would be good. Thank you. If you could write it down.
They exaggeratedly pat their pockets. Whoops, guess not.
Very well. Okay. Penterton. I'll remember. Yeah.
Viorica, I mean, any of you can make this, but particularly Viorica. You can make, I think a history check will suffice for this one.
Okay, I will make.
Viorica, you can have it with advantage because of your particular background, where you're from.
This should work well. Ooh! I'm just going to, well, there's no real need. With my advantage, I managed to get to 27.
You're rolling very well today. Yeah, but the name Penterton, definitely. Antiquity, like private collector, like made their money doing something mercantile or probably slightly shady, though you've never known for sure. But like definitely like a known collector of art and artifacts for their own, amusement and diversion.
But as it were, nouveau riche for the patriarchs, as in like
yeah,
and sort of seen as much as a sort of a bit of a flash gid, I'm assuming.
No, they've cultivated an area of legitimacy is the wrong word because that kind of you know what I mean, right? Like they have made it so that they are part of that part of society and are accepted because they have lots of money, and have used that as their big stick. But they are a known name. Like they're probably not famous to the average person in Baldur's Gate because they don't really bother with that kind of thing. But they are known within certainly the arty communities.
I was going to say, if they had a decent collection, I would definitely have known about them. And I can't remember who it was who said the quote, but there was a thing of virtue has never been as respectable as money, and I feel like that's
yeah, that's about right. Yeah. Any of the others of you who rolled, who wanted to make history checks, may have heard of this person, though it's not terribly likely. But you're welcome to, if you made the check, you're welcome to tell me in case you want to.
I rolled a 5. I've never heard.
Yeah.
I rolled a 10.
Yes, no, yeah, they're not a widely known name, but they're definitely like Viorica has moved in the right kind of circles in this very city, and they are a Baldur's Gate. A Baldur's Gatean? I don't know what the demonym for Baldur's Gate is. A Baldurian? Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Right. Baldurian sounds great.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yes. Well, unless there's anything else, unless you're going to show me the item, then I think we're done here.
Good. It's wonderful to see you again. Wherever you are living at the moment, I hope you're having a very lovely time.
Thank you. They scoop themselves agilely off the crate and sort of land relatively cat-like on the ground, straighten up. What do you do with the apple, actually? Is the apple still in anyone's hand, or did you drop it?
I'm eating it.
All right, there we go. They won't try and take it off you in that case. And they just strut away.
Viorica will, once they've sort of gone out of the thing, he will sort of like slightly collapse a bit, and if there's someone nearby, he will almost swoon on their shoulder.
I would like to suggest that Valka had as soon. I think I mean I've been quite quiet during this, but she definitely would have been making slightly audible like noises throughout that conversation, and I think, having originally been intrigued by the concept that this is a sibling of Viorica, she would have been examining closely to see if there was any family resemblance. But as soon as Viorica's attitude was firmly established, I think as Viorica kind of collapses, she would have definitely had a very strong shoulder right there, and said, "Well, it's a good job that's over now, then, isn't it?"
Yes, it is.
What do you need, love?
Oh, something hot tea, probably.
I think that sounds like a marvellous idea. Is there somewhere nearby you think we could go and get one of those?
Should I do a history check?
I
wouldn't
you
have
probably say that again, Ed?
I wouldn't have known the docks very well.
Not this area. Particularly the river docks as well. That's the secondary docks. They're not even the first docks.
We could try and find the Jubilantis nightclub.
That's an option. You can make it's probably. I'll take a history roll. That's fine if you want to try and see if you know anywhere off the cuff. You likely know places towards the city's core, and you've got time to wander if you wish. Otherwise, you can sort of rely on your.
So otherwise, unless it's the kind of the Hoxton kind of nightclub where it's they do tea during the day.
Oh yeah,
or a club in the evening.
Yeah. I love that idea. Yeah, they'll be served out of like plant pots or something. Yeah, I seem to be unable to roll below 25 at the moment. This is amazing.
I haven't rolled too many dice today, so we don't yet know what's going to happen with mine. 25. Yeah, you can find somewhere. You know a little shortcut to a place. There's a nice little quiet tea shop, just a little way inland of the river, in the city of the river, in the base of the river.
And it's a place that does hookah pipes and bubble tea and that kind of stuff. He is at his heart definitely a hipster.
That's right. You can hasten your way thence if you wish.
On the way, Veracity is going to Druidcraft. I just assume Druidcraft can do anything as long as it's tiny and cool.
Sounds about right.
Going to Druidcraft a very small sky blue butterfly that is just going to float around Viorica's head and like rest on his hand and flit around, with genuinely just trying to make him cheer up a bit.
You've no idea how well that works. That's absolutely perfect. And once he figures out what this is, Veracity suddenly has a very special place in his heart. So thank you very much. Definitely.
As you're
You've always been a dick.
Go on. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, has your brother always been a dick?
Sibling,
sorry.
Yeah, that was my bad. It's, very definitely sibling, not brother. Well, they were always very keen on getting power. And what better way to exercise power when you don't have it than over somebody who is a sibling of yours who doesn't fit in, shall we say. I was never part of the family, as it were. I was adopted, and therefore blood is thicker than paper. And
There's no excuse for that.
Well, the problem is that their mother treated me rather better than she treated them to start off with, and I think they rather resented that, and therefore I was a very easy target.
That's their fault for being horrible. I would treat my nice child better than my horrible child.
He just starts losing it.
You are very lovely, and also you did something that no one has done for me, looking at the little butterfly. You did something that no one has done for me since my mother died, and that is bring me joy. Thank you very much indeed.
Valka is definitely gonna have just gone, oh, and just like scooped Viorica into the biggest mama bear hug.
Wow. How tall is she?
6 foot odd.
Oh, that's perfect, because basically that means you get me right round underneath the armpits, and so Viorica's sort of doing the, He doesn't know what to do because he's not good at like this kind of stuff, but he really appreciates the hug. Really, really appreciates it.
Next time we see them, I am going to give them a piece of my mind, let me tell you.
Thank you. Everybody here is really, really wonderful. Thank you, everyone. You're very, very kind, all of you.
Well, no need to thank you. No need to thank because it's only what's right.
Yes, very well.
Also, I don't know very much about anything, but I have a brother and sister who are kind of quite horrible, and say use any excuse if you're special and different. It's not that you're adopted, that would mean it was your fault. It's just you're special, and mean people can't cope with that.
Oh my goodness. Baldur goes and gives Veracity a massive hug.
This is George's fault for starting with a funeral. We're not going
Yes. No.
To be fair, I have to say, 255 is watching all of this, like, totally fascinated, but not quite able to connect with the, like, level of deep emotion. Like,
Oh, no.
they're like 3 years old.
Come here.
and
Come
haven't
here.
had, like,
In here.
okay.
having a party hug on the
They
street.
join the hug, but
Baldur?
they're just a bit like, I don't understand why all this is necessary or what this is. Yeah.
People are
Prada looks
squeezing
at
past you in the street with
like a knowing
increasing
wink.
hug size. Excuse me.
Thank you, a couple of
Quite enjoying the hug though, I think.
Yeah. And Baldur, well, she's huddled everyone and she's like, right, we are going to get a nice warm drink and have a little sit down and a decompress, and then we are going to form our plan, and someone can tell me what a nightclub is.
I was going to ask that question too. That was my next question. I'm really glad you don't know either.
Can I do a history check again? Would I know?
You would. You don't even need to roll for this. Well, can we like do a smash cut from there to from that question to you sitting in the tea? You've got your tea. You've got your pipes if you want them. So, yeah, Viorica, you like Jubilance night bar. I think is what it is. It's kind of an old-fashioned nightclub in the sense of like not the modern definition of the term, but like it's sort of a combination sort of cabaret review bar type thing where it's about performing acts. You've got the big tables, everyone sort of facing towards the stage, having sit-down drinks. Very, I guess the in-fiction equivalent of black tie kind of thing, right? Not so rigidly formal as that, but there's definitely an expectation that you dress up, and it's a sort of think sort of. Yeah, like 50s, 60s, like night bar in that kind of sense with things. You'll definitely know it, Viorica. I don't know if it's the kind of place you would have performed or not. I don't know what your
It would have been anywhere that I could have sung. I would have sung, and probably more the down market, the better. In as much as it's that thing of trained as an opera person, but wanting to perform at any time that they could.
It was probably on your list, but you never quite made it to there. Not due to any particular laws being closed to you, but you just never that never came to be. But
it would have been a new thing when I left, I imagine, and it has now grown up and become
that's fair. Yeah.
And so I'm very excited to go and see it because that was a really good place, and it is. I am glad to hear that it's there. It was just that it came from the person who it did that made it a problem.
Yes. Great. Well, you have your tea, you have your pipes, and you have some time to kill until you can show up at this place, or as advertised, until you can show up at this place.
We might have to get some new clothes.
We're going to a party.
Are you supposed to wear something different?
It might be a good idea for you to get some clothes, 355.
For what purpose?
To allow others to admire the clothes that you are wearing. It is all part of the social dance. I was going to say, Viorica is going to get very overexcited about this because he definitely has some tailors in the town which make like costumes and stuff. This is absolutely, if that's what we're doing, he's going to get very overexcited about it and want to take over.
I do not know how to dance.
Worry not. It was merely a figurative thing. We will dress you up in something befitting your station. What is your station?
I do not have a station. I do not understand.
In that case, we will dress you up as a shadow. How about that? And then you can bring the shadow to the thing, and you don't have to take part at all. Party, that was what I was trying to say. Bring the thing to the party.
Oh, all right.
You can then observe, but you do not have to come in amongst us all. You do not have to dance.
All right.
We have to come across as if we're suitable to be around the kind of people who are upper class in this establishment.
But we're not.
I see.
I certainly am not.
Leave that, ladies and gentlemen and beings, to me. So he's definitely got. I mean, I don't know how much money we have. We've got sort of like Have we got any spending money?
I'd meant to imply previously, I don't know if I actually did, that you had a small, not stipend is the wrong word, but a small discretionary fund as part of the stuff provided to Baldur. Whether Baldur cops to that is another matter, but yes,
That was what I was
the
gonna say.
implication that some reasonable expenses can be covered.
That's what I mean. So from that point of view, it's going to get a bit RuPaul's Drag Race, as in like what Viorica is going to do is he's going to have ideas for everybody, which are going to be ridiculous, and also that the budget is of no moment to him. He's just what he's going to try and explain with the tea and the things is what he wants to do, and it sounds like an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. That's where we're at. Okay.
We're building up to a montage, is what we're building up to.
Stuffing montage.
I guess
Turning into a 90s like transformation film. Like,
yeah.
Makeover.
Are any of you going to try and curb the incredible enthusiasm of Viorica for this particular thing, or are you just going to take whatever he says?
Consistently. Every time Viorica is like, and then this, like, the budget.
Oh, you're that person. I see. Yes, yeah. You have a modest discretionary fund. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Veracity's role in the party is to be the voice of reason.
ways.
She's just here going like,
Oh, actually, that's perfect.
I think Baldur is kind of similar, but not from an exuberant point of view, from a, okay, well, I don't know about these things, and he definitely knows about these things, so I suppose I have to take his word for it, that is something appropriate for a woman like myself to wear.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
What have we done?
Cool. No, this is happening. I guess then, if any of you wish to try and describe your own ideal outfit, you can. Otherwise, not to put too much pressure on Ed, we can have Ed.
I've got all kinds of ideas.
Yeah, I think Baldur's going to definitely be like, very quickly turn to Viora and be like, this is nice, but I will sort my stuff out, thank you.
Oh, could you not just something antlers? I'm thinking antlers. Oh, well, fine. All right. Yes, do as you will.
Thank you.
Can part of this montage as well be Valka trying to show 355 some like basic simple dance steps that she would like? It's a very tribal, like round a campfire, celebratory, like basic dance kind of thing, and then Viorica's just like, darling, no. Not in the city.
That's definitely happening.
I feel like 355 would like copy like exactly, like manage to mimic the moves. I don't know, maybe I have to roll a thing.
Oh no, I think that works. So it just looks like the robot doing it.
I mean, make a 355. Make I think a performance roll using. Take dexterity as the stat. If you. I mean, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I so nearly rolled a 16, but I rolled a 6 instead, so it's 10.
Oh.
It's passable, but I mean, you're not used to moving in this way, I guess. Like that's the thing. You're not. You're built for something else. You're very agile. I mean, you are. You are agile, yes. and But it's trying to translate that to a very. The purpose is very different, and you struggle to translate that a little bit. So you're just doing this in the tea shop for now. We can come in a second to the various outfits that you assemble. While you're in the tea shop, best described as an urchin, a young scrappily-dressed child comes in and sort of presses a note into Viorica's hand. They don't really look at you. They look at you enough to identify you, and then look at 355 and just like puzzling you out. Are you a demon?
That's rude.
No.
Ooh.
Is it? Sorry.
Is it?
What are you?
Yeah. I am a construct. I am known as a warforged. You may not have come across someone such as me.
No. Sorry, I just people talk about demons, and I thought, no, sorry. They make a hasty retreat.
I understand.
Yeah. They basically flee from the premise, having worried they've mortally offended you.
Baldur chased them out pretending to be a demon. Like she's like, actually, I speak demon, and they sound more like this. Chases them out.
Make it. Are you trying to clown it up, or are you trying to actually scare them?
Clowning. It's clowning.
Make a performance check in that case. I think. Yeah. I think with advantage because you're speaking Abyssal. I think that's as established previously. It adds to the effect.
It's just a straight 11.
Okay, that's enough. Like they don't go for it fully, but it does help soothe their feelings a little bit, and they giggle as they flee. Yes. And Bjork has a note if you want to read it. You don't have to. That's the thing you can read later.
No, because it comes from a small child, and I'm very fond of small, innocent things. I'm definitely going to sort of open it up and read it very, very carefully.
It's a well-appointed note that's been handled by a grubby child, so that's the state of the note. So you'd messaged your contact here, Esme Caldwell, about, I can't remember exactly, what did you specifically ask? You specifically asked about the item in question, I think, is that right? The thing you're trying to get hold of?
Exactly. I messaged Esme Caldwell and would have said, do you know where this item is and who is, as it were, in charge of it? That would have been my question.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the note confirms by and large what you already know, which is an item about which you inquired, held by a private collector, Mr. Bartosz Pentatton, a tremendously wealthy, unsavory gentleman. As I understand, sale of item has already been arranged with Academy in Elturel. Sorry, I can't be of more help. EC.
Okay. How do you put it? Is it handwritten?
It's handwritten.
Okay. So if the child has fled and having opened the note, he realizes that the child is gone, he has the option of going after it is not to, and puts the note away in his pocket and tries to forget about it, given that there's no new information.
Perfect. Cool. In which case, I think we can proceed with the montage. Viorica knows a wide variety, I assume, of differently equipped tailors of different styles. Apart from Baldur, who I think is making sensibly, perhaps, her own decisions and budgetary priorities for curbing the overall expenditure. Viorica, if you are happy to describe, Ed, if you're happy to describe the outfit selected for each person, and Baldur, you can weigh in if you want to downscope anything.
I think, yeah. All you, bro.
Okay, cool. So with 355, is that your name? I've suddenly had a blank. Sorry.
355, yeah.
355. Okay, yeah. So you're basically sort of a grey metal material, right?
It's sort of like dark brownish, but yeah.
You've got a wood out of shell.
What?
Yeah, it's like really highly condensed, compacted wood.
Got you. So what Viorica wants to do is drape you in sort of black silk, if you see what I mean, all coming from around the neck on a cloak, going down around you, and then have like black taffeta, like going up around sort of from one ankle and then up around you. Coming up to the top, so you're like a sort of spiral of blackness, if you see what I mean. So making you a shadow.
Okay.
And the idea is that your eyes should peer out, your idea glow out of this, but otherwise you can't really see what shape you are. That's the idea. So you're sort of a passing shadow. And now let's see about this. So for Valka, I'm imagining quite a lot of gold. And very much like a very sort of prominent bustier, if you see what I mean, sort of leather and things like that. Basically, making you look without high heels, but like a dominatrix, if you see what I mean.
Okay. Yep.
And I would say, what about a whip, just to see if Val could be up for it.
Can I not keep my axes instead?
Well, absolutely, but they're just so very well. There's no finesse with axes. That's
Beg to differ, sunshine.
No, do with them as you will. It's just so that you can have fun.
The goblin tailor grumbles slightly and starts attaching loops back on so you can stow your axes along with the outfit.
She kind of glances down and says, "Well, you know, I've not seen them look like this in nigh on 20 years, so I think I'm already having fun."
Amazing. Okay, and then Veracity, because of what Viorica has seen you do with your fire elemental, he's going to make you look like not a ball of fire, but as in like so there's sort of red. What are they called? Do you know what I mean? Like when it looks like a sort of feathering thing, so it's layers and layers and layers of lots of things, like individually cut out flames that are layered all over you, so that you're sort of that starts with sort of big ruff and then flows out, if you see what I mean, with sort of long sleeves, like wizard sleeves, if you see what I mean, and then a whole like flared out thing at the bottom, so you look like a sort of fireball exploding upwards. That's the idea. And then I think that's it. Oh, and Viorica is going to what's he going to look like? Yeah, so Viorica is going to have do you know Antonio Banderas and Desperado? So he's going to have a sort of short bolero jacket with a cloak flowing out the back of it, and spurs on his heels, but completely dressed in black except for his mane of hair, and looking basically like a pirate. That's what he's going for, sort of the uber pirate. To the point where he actually gets, because this is what I can't remember his name, but Viorica absolutely can't grow a beard, but ties bits of gunpowder into his hair, and they just constantly smoke. So that he goes out behind him, and there's a sort of wreath of smoke around him. That's what's happening.
Wow, brilliant, fantastic. Yes, all round. But Baldur, how are you attiring yourself?
I feel like Baldur
possibly in rags, given the budget, but yes.
Yeah, Baldur's just wearing a really simple dark blue, similar to the cloth that she wears on her armor, but a dark blue sari with a headscarf, and it's a lot of heavy drapery. Because what she's going to do is hide all her weapons in her back, and all her daggers and swords going to be there, and then she's going to have the backpack on, and she's going to look at Viorica and be like, "Don't worry, the backpack won't be there when we arrive."
Much better than I was expecting, but thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you can see that down her entire left arm is this black tribal pattern tattoo that almost seems to move as you look at it. I hope that Viorica has said this before, because whenever he will have seen that, he will have gone, that is quite the thing. Yeah, I got it, and I thought of you.
Oh, too much. Nevertheless, are we all ready now?
I do have a question, actually. So typically, Valka, her hair would be hidden away by kind of just grey cloth kind of kerchief type thing, just kind of rolled up and shoved underneath. I'm assuming that that would not stand. So
it's literally the opposite. It is now standing. I want it. It's like massive and big RuPaul, like beehive.
She's got like that kind of in the way that sometimes you get more elegant older ladies do, where they've got just the long, but it is slightly thinner, kind of silvery hair. So it possibly wouldn't stand. But
no. Sorry, but what I'm thinking is like it's going to be there's going to be a peak there, and then out and around and down with a white streak. Hopefully, Viorica can put a white streak in. Do you know what I mean? Over one.
Is Valka happy with this?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
I think so.
Cool. The party are all dressed up, and they very much have somewhere to go. I mean, like, given the complexity of this, you can get it all rush order done. You can absolutely destroy the budget that you brought with you. Baldur, you think you've got enough credit to make this work? You get receipts, is what I'm saying. You're going to have to just hope that they are fine with when you get back. This probably takes like all day, basically, just to get 4 hours dressed up. Yeah. Is there anything anyone urgently wants to get done in Baldur's Gate aside from this? Because you're going to be tight on time up to your meeting point. Fantastic. Well, you make your way a little before sundown, like evening time, coming in to the rather nondescript entrance. It's essentially down an alleyway. It's one of those like slightly like hidden club kind of things with an unmarked door, one of those little sliding people hatch kind of things, to Jubilant's nightclub, and we will pick up on that after the break. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back in 5 or 10 minutes to to see where this goes. It's great. I'm loving it. Cool. See you in a minute, folks.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the second half of Seekers of Elturel Buried episode. It's episode 3, isn't it? Yes, before the break, the party had arrived in Baldur's Gate and proceeded to do a fashion montage because to prepare for the fancy sort of night bar to which they are going for I was going to call it a clandestine meeting. I'm not even sure it qualifies as a clandestine meeting. To an exchange with a notable collector of antiquities for a particular item that they are in sore need of. And Viorica has fully let himself loose upon the tailors of the city and the coffers of the modest discretionary fund that was assigned to Baldur to accoutre people in magnificent outfits for this occasion. And we left it just as you were reaching this slightly nondescript. It's kind of what it's tucked down an alley. It's a sort of an unmarked door that looks like a sturdy security door, well preserved with a little sort of peak flap on it. And it's over to you. You can just stand staring at the door. That's valid.
Drink money. Yeah, here's your drink money. This is how much you have. This is how much you have. Just handing out a few gold for everybody to have one drink.
Amazing. Just one?
I do not drink, so thank you, but I don't think I will require it.
I'll have that.
Okay.
Right, I think Viorica is going to sort of sweep everybody up. He's going to imagine whether they are or not is a different thing, but he's going to imagine that they're his entourage and sweep up because he knows that that's the easiest way to get into a place like this is to turn up like you own the place with everybody behind you.
I'm going to cast Disguise Self so that I can hide all my equipment. Everything will be normal, but for an hour, all my equipment will be gone. And when I pull out the kit, it'll seem like it's come out of nowhere.
Excellent. Any other such preparations while you're outside?
Be more fabulous.
The rest, he will druidcraft the tips of her cloth flames to actually be a little bit flamey.
Oh.
I suppose actually Valka might have as they got to the club, kind of suddenly realised and turned to Baldur and said, "Is it appropriate that I have my axes? Would you think they'll take them off me? Would you?" And if Baldur is making it, would Baldur be obviously disguising, or just secretly doing it?
I think she'd have. I think as soon as we were sort of like being swept up by Viorica, she would have said some words, touched her arm, and then you'd have just seen like a black line from head to toe just pass over her, and things would have just disappeared as she did it. And when you ask her this question, she looks at you, she's like, I mean, whether or not they're going to try and take it off you and whether or not they'll be able to, are two different things. But I'll give you a hand. And she starts like trying to like stuff these axes in like positions where maybe they're not so visible.
Valka or on Baldur?
On Valka.
Oh, right,
so
okay,
yeah.
Wait, you've got incorporated loops to hold them in your outfit, but yeah, you can try and make them more surreptitious, I guess. I think one of you needs to make a sleight of hand check with help, so with advantage.
We'll go for ceremonial. Like the ceremonial accent.
They're part of the costume rather than practical. I have no advantage to sleight of hand, so. Oh,
you'll get it. You'll get advantage from the fact that someone is helping you. But one of you can make.
I have no bonuses.
Oh, no modifier. Okay, yeah, fine.
I have a few little things.
I have a few bonuses to sleight of hand.
I'll roll them, shall I? Okay, well that was a nat 1 or a 21.
Take that one, please.
It's going to be hard to conceal them fully, but you'll try and diminish with that roll. You can diminish attention drawn to them and try and style it out past that with the you try and make you try and like you say look ceremonial, look less functional than they definitely are. Are you wearing your armor? Have you had this cut to incorporate your armor? I didn't ask that at the time.
Viorica is giving me the nod, so yes.
Yes. Okay. You're still wearing your armor. Anyone else who wears armor? Same question, I guess.
I don't think Baldur could have gotten away with what she's wearing with the breastplate armor that she has.
Whereas Balka's is kind of bits of like she has the pauldrons with spikes on, and she has gauntlets, kind of braces that have spikes on. So there's possibly ways to have incorporated those.
Yeah, you've got enough pieces. You might have had to remove a couple of them to sell the look, but like you're wearing your armor fundamentally underneath this. There's the luxury of having it made in such a way that it can incorporate it. Viorica, did you? And this is a good time to remind you. Actually, did you ever open that package you received on the dock? You don't have to open it. That's not a thing.
No, I have now. Yes, I will have done during the thing because I imagine it. Well, what's it going to be?
Studded leather from the ship, which there's been an attempt to clean it. It's not terribly well, but this will have happened previously to now. So you're welcome to have had it. Given you've been working with tailors, slightly better laundered and fitted with your actual outfit, so you can don this accordingly.
Oh yeah, no. So now, yes, he's looking like a full-on pirate, but it's actually effective as opposed to just all surface. Yeah, he's definitely. Oh, that means my armor class is up to semi-reasonable. That is perfect.
And preparations made. Is someone going to try and open or knock on or something the door? Viorica has this. Yeah, he's going to go and rap on the door in a kind of like I'm supposed to be here and this is all supposed to be happening kind of way. Cool. The little hatch slides open and a very small pair of eyes press up to it. Password!
Oh, my dear sir, we are here to see, the knight. Surely, and he'll try and get out a piece of, like a bit of money. I'm not sure if he has any. But surely this is the only password that matters.
You've got your drink money. You hand it through the slot. A little green hand comes and takes it. It's not the password, though, is it?
Who should we find the password from if we were to need one?
Tickets.
I'm going to ask the question, do we have tickets?
You do not have tickets. You've not been given tickets or any indication that you have, or you should have or need tickets.
Right. Viorica is going to try a different tack and is going to say, we are members of the Ravenshade household, if that would help. We were told by a member of that house to come here. We hope that will be enough.
Hold on. The hatch slides closed. It's muted by the very heavy door, but there's a few exchange of words at that pitch and a very deep rumbling pitch back and forth in a slightly agitated manner. And then the door thunks, unlocks, and opens enough that you can open it the rest of the way.
I'm going to push it like you know what I mean, a showman. Please enter in, everyone, and indicates the entourage.
You sweep through into a little vestibule. Like, it is small. Like, this is a little sort of a hallway into there's another door clearly very close behind. This is a little exchanging point. There, behind the door, cleared out the way, is a stool large enough for the tiny goblin who is the door sort of guard to stand upon in such circumstances, and a very large, mechanically large, a large green-skinned humanoid who some of you may recognize as a troll, wearing essentially a dinner jacket, sized for a troll. Looks about as you'd expect a troll in a dinner jacket to look. This particular troll, in contrast to most trolls, patches of its skin have this odd light showing through, like this luminescence under the skin, or I guess light from under the skin, in sort of different patches and mottlings on its body. It looks at you suspiciously. You get the impression that that's its expression. It's not a particular slight on any of you. No drawn weapons, no spell casting off the stage. If you have any weapons, please declare them and we will mark them. Or if you wish, we can accommodate them in the wardrobe.
Valka kind of leans on Baldur and whispers, Should I leave them or should I take them?
Wait for him to notice them.
All right.
Nothing to declare?
Nothing to declare. We are an unwarlike party. We simply wish to enjoy ourselves and have a good time.
Time to make a roll. See what the troll sees.
I think you're going to say initiative then.
Oh, no. Yes, you must fight for the honor of entering. That's not great. So anything, I guess the axes were worn disguisedly. Bardur's weapons are worn concealed by the disguise itself. Is anyone else wearing any weapons openly?
Veracity has a staff, but it is currently just a big stick.
Yeah, a staff is on the edge and is not going to get picked up.
Also, because it's Veracity, it's a small stick.
It's true, yeah. Anyone who is fibbing, just make a deception roll just to see what you end up with. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know what it was.
Well, that's a natural one.
Oh!
What did everyone else get?
13 for Valka.
13, yeah.
Although she's not actively, off Bardur's advice, she's not actively trying to lie and say no. She's just kind of
she's just
smiling.
It's more about you standing there, like it's more about you carrying yourselves properly. Is this? What did everyone else get? Sorry, I didn't hear. So G.
I don't know.
Wearing
I'm
your
carrying
weapon? So yeah, no. And Veracity's already established carrying sticks. That will fine. And Viorica is not overtly carrying a weapon. It's not.
Nope, I've got a full cane, but that's it.
Yeah, it's very, very appropriate for this situation. The goblin, the troll's all set to wave you past. The goblin looks at him and goes jabs her head at Baldur. I'm afraid, madam, I'm going to have to conduct a hands-on search.
Oh shit. Okay.
Well, I'm not entirely sure that's appropriate.
My colleague can do it if it would make you feel more comfortable.
Baldur leans forward and she says, I'm here to see Mr. Penton. Now, what I'm holding for Mr. Penton happens to be very important. And I appreciate you have rules here. But if what I have for Mr. Penton is lost or damaged in any way, and I can't protect it, then I think Mr. Penton is going to be very, very upset.
Make a persuasion roll with that. Oh, you could do intimidation if you prefer with that one, like that. Take your pick if they're different. Intimidation or persuasion.
I think she's trying to persuade. She's not trying to start a fight.
Yeah.
Can Viorica... Oh no, the roll's already been made.
Yeah, what were you going to say?
I was going to say,
no, Ed, finish the thought. How would you help?
By coming over and going, I'm sure there is absolutely no problem, although what the lady says is entirely true. We are looking to meet with Mr. Pendleton at his own request. It's that kind of oleaginous stuff.
Yes, exactly. I think that's enough to justify help, so you make a second roll to add advantage to the first. And hope it's better than whenever you rolled the first one.
It was a lot better. That's the 17. I rolled an 8 first. So 17.
Yeah. The troll, clearly out of his depth, looks again to the goblin who appears to be in charge of this particular post. Fine. The rules still apply. No drawn weapons. No spell casting off the stage. Or Loom will have to come and have words. Well, he's not very good with words. He'll have to come and pay attention.
Thank you.
All right, that's
smiles.
The troll lurches down the corridor and opens the next set of doors for you all to enter.
As she walks past the troll, Valka gives him a squeeze on the arm and says, I thought you did very well, love.
Love it. You sweep through into the main room of Jubilant's Night Park. So it's I kind of described it before as a sort of a 50s, 60s style dinner club, nightclub type thing. So there's a sort of raked arrangement of tables. Like the expectation of most people are sitting most of the time. There is a stage towards which all the tables are oriented. And there's a small area for dancing in front of that, which you get the impression is sort of flexible as to whether that's stocked with more tables or space for patrons to dance should they desire. But it's certainly not that part of the evening yet. It's very bright in the way that like modern nightclubs are very, very dark, and they do that intentionally. This is the opposite. Like there's a lot of light here. Like it's the extent that it almost has the same, like it's so bright that it has a slightly fuzzy quality to it, in the sense of you almost feel like it serves the same function as darkness to an extent, in that you can't see as clearly as you might like in some circumstances. There's no mechanical effect of that. But it's, the kind of lens flare dazzle. There's filled with sundry well-to-do patrons. It is pretty busy. Like it's early. You've arrived sort of as things are starting up. There's no one on stage yet. The performance hasn't started, but most people are at their seats, or a few of them are sort of standing near other tables and like greetings and how do you do and all the rest. The dress code, as I said, sort of something approximating black tie, but similar. Like you are among the most fabulous here. Like most people have gone for sort of more restrained outfits, but you do stick out, but you don't stick out in a bad way. You're peacocking and posturing a little bit by your outfits, but you are in keeping with the state here. There's a concierge stand as you come through. A very dapper young halfling is standing there. Reservations?
The Oracle is going to step forward again. Oh man, what's he going to say this time? The finest table you have available?
Well, if you don't have a reservation, we're sort of full up.
We are here at the request of Mr. Penterton.
Oh, the Penterton party, of course. This way, please.
Thank you. Oh,
you are swept through to and you can tell this table is front and center. Like it's the closest to the stage, set a little way back from the dance floor, so it's got a kind of a little bit of an exclusion zone around it in that sense. And at the table is a big chin, slicked haired, middle-aged looking human who is wearing he's gone white tie. He's full on like that. He just radiates money. To his left and right, respectively, sit two burly-looking dwarves. Similarly, like they're wearing white tie to match, but in that, and it's expensive and nice, but they have the goon vibe, a touch of the goon about, if you will. You are ushered by the waiter and shown seats. There is room to fit you all around the table. Not all of you will be facing towards the stage just yet until you rearrange yourselves. He stands up as you get close and sort of bows a little bit towards you before sitting back down. Please do take a seat.
Can I make a perception check for the entire room just to
absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything particular you're looking for?
Other people attributed to him, like whether or not this room is full of people that are actually customers or not, kind of thing. Yeah, just anything.
Fair question. 355. What were you going to add to that?
I would be keeping an eye, just kind of anyone that looks big and dangerous, or like they might be, or if anybody's paying particular attention to us. I know that we're standing out, but.
Feel free to make a perception or an insight roll for that. Niall, what did you get?
It was only a 12.
Only a 12. You don't pick up any. There's definitely this table is the locus of attention because the show hasn't started yet. He's an influential person in the best table, and you all look like you. Like this is what's happening. So there's definitely people are breaking away from conversations to look. You don't pick up anything in the way of particular suspicion with that role, and there's no one who's conspicuously goonish in the crowd, but they may just be less obvious than the two dwarfs here. 355. What did you roll? Insight or perception, and what did you get?
I rolled perception. Dirty 20.
Very nice. Similar, like as I mentioned, like this is drawing the attention of the room. People are paying you attention. You catch the eye of one person, and you're looking for big and dangerous people. This one's something big. You don't know if they're dangerous. They have a cut of the Pavarotti about them. They're wearing a big old penguin suit with tailcoats. They appear to be at a table on their own. It's a smaller table than the one you're at. Like it's further up and higher back. They are watching your table. You don't know whether that's just because they're on their own. They have a drink on the table in front of them. They appear to be sort of relaxed, but they're definitely looking at you, and they stick out a little bit. They have a presence in the room. So yeah.
Okay.
Could as they're approaching the table and seeing the people sat there, could I roll a perception check to see if the dwarves are packing?
Oh sure. Yeah, make a roll by all means.
And indeed, who I'm assuming is Mr. Penterton. That is a dirty 20.
You don't spot any conspicuous or evening, but you don't spot anything but incredibly well hidden weapons on Mr. Penderton. The dwarves do have axes at their hips. They have been wrapped in something. There is something sort of hooked around the top, which seems to sort of tie them in place, fix them to their. They're not sheathed truly, but there's an extra layer of some sort of white ribbony tape that attaches them to their belt, the loops, more firmly. Penderton sees everyone giving them the once over and just sort of smiling smugly.
But also, I think having seen Viorica greeting people before, as they go to sit down, Valka is also going to give a slightly awkwardly in her body, but an elaborate bow.
How kind. Yes, it's so nice to be paid the proper attention. Well, yes, no. I mean, please don't stand around all day. We can sit and enjoy ourselves.
Oh, how wonderful! Thank you.
May I offer any of you something to drink? Champagne, nibbles.
Sounds
all of the above. All of the above, please. We are here to celebrate a transaction, perhaps.
Does the hold up his hand, just clicks, like not looking in any particular direction. The waiter is there pretty much instantly. What would you all like? I can get a bottle for the table, of course, but if you have particular needs, they can accommodate anything.
Champagne for everyone. I've always wanted to say that.
Was that Viorica or Ed?
Both, definitely.
I'm sure I've heard Ed say that before.
Shut up, dude.
Well then, he just nods at the waiter who vanishes, and it's a pretty lickety-split return with a large I can't remember all the names of the different delineation of bottles, but a monopole, Magnum. There we go. It's one of the larger varieties. Jeremiah. They're the absurd ones, aren't they?
Yeah, Nebuchadnezzar.
Oh, he's going to do it. Oh yeah, we're not quite that territory. We definitely get an oversized bottle, which this halfling waiter has to maneuver with some alacrity to get going with for him. No, welcome, friends. Yes, I am Bartosz Penderton, of course. You may call me Bartosz, or if you prefer, Mr. Penderton. I know that some people like to keep it formal when around. Yes, well, me. This is Killer and Filler, my associates. Oh, they do hate it when I call them that, though.
Killer and Filler.
They hate it when I call them that, but yes, if needs arise, you may address them thus.
What do they like to be called?
Oh, they don't. They don't talk. It's part of their terms of their employment. They don't talk much, or indeed at all, unless I ask them to. Isn't that right? They say nothing. They give him a slightly like stony-eyed look, but it's like calculated to be the right level of just the right level of fuck you to be like, oh, ha, ha, yes, how funny, without tipping over into actual insubordination.
When she thinks that Mr. Penderton's not looking, Balka will kind of like.
They give you a less stony look, but there's still an element of like, they're taking in the customers. They're looking at you, and they're getting an assessment of all of you. Like they don't have a friendly vibe around them. They're definitely yes. Well, how are you all? I trust your trip to the city was accommodating. Have you been to this fine establishment before?
I was here in the very beginning. I had to leave the city, unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond my control, but I earmarked this as a place which was up and coming.
Yes, well, it's certainly up and come now. It's quite difficult to get a table here, as I'm sure you will be aware.
Well, very much so. We're very glad that you decided to see us. This feels like we are the talk of the town.
Yes, and I must say your outfits are excellent.
Oh, well, yes.
He name checks a couple of tailors. He's like, is it Hansen's work or Nico's? Like just listing like high-end tailors.
And there's going to be a bit of banter back and forth with that, but let's not go into it because it's quite boring.
It also requires making up lots of names on the spot, which I don't like to do. Well, fantastic. Anyway, I'm so pleased. I mean, if we're going to do business, it should be in a civilized atmosphere. So please, the toast to enterprise.
Amazing. Yes.
Veracity will sip her champagne, sneeze, and then pass it to Baldur and go, "You can have this."
Baldur goes, "Cheers," and she downs the first one, and then.
Perhaps clocking this slightly, Valka, we would have been all right with the champagne, but also I think would have tried it and then made a show of, oh, well, that's lovely, and then leant over and been like, my dear, I am a woman of simple tastes. I don't suppose you've got anything that's more along the line of, well, I don't know, what would you recommend that's a little less abrasive?
Refined. Well, you could always have some alcoholic cocktail. I think they would probably cater to your taste. Something simpler.
Sounds lovely. I'll have one of them.
Or a simple
two.
palate.
I'll have two of them.
Of course. He does the finger snap again, summons a waiter, and two slightly brightly colourful cocktails with umbrellas are brought forth. They're different from one another, but they both look suitably fruity.
She kind of slides one. Are they different colours?
Yeah.
Is one of them red?
Can be. Yes.
She
Is the
slides
answer.
the red one over to Veracity.
That's really kind, but if it has alcohol in it, I probably shouldn't.
Oh no!
But thank you.
Come on, enjoy yourself.
I plan to, which is why I don't want to drink one of those. The fire,
Fair
the...
enough. Fair enough.
No pressure. Go
355 who's taken their glass and reached out from the sort of masses of black material that just surrounded it and taken it under, and they don't drink, but they can taste things and smell things, so they're kind of investigating it interesting.
Nice. Well, as Penton goes to speak again, there's a sort of fanfare from behind. The curtain comes up, and the first act starts, which is an all singing, all dancing, hit 'em with a big opener kind of number. It's kind of sort of full on cabaret act, a dancing line, a solo singer accompanying them. Viorica, you've probably encountered this singer before. You know of her, at least, and she's pretty good. And she gives a wow. She's off today. One on the football, one on the dice. So it's still a credible performance because consistency, but it is definitely an off night. And Penton seems a little bit put out by this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, shit. Okay, if it's. Did you say you rolled a 1?
I rolled a 1. The total will be enough that it's a passable performance, but they'll have wobbles. There'll be definite wobbles that hurt you.
Right, so Viorica, because the last time he performed on stage in Baldur's Gate, he fainted and collapsed and got kidnapped, all due to another natural one. He wants to help out this poor lady and get up on stage and perform with her. That's a performance check, right?
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, you make a performance check and send. You probably know the song well enough, but we'll factor that into the results of the performance check.
So just to clarify, this is Viorica being kind and compassionate and stopping the singer from getting kidnapped, not showing off and stealing the spotlight.
No, it's definitely the second one.
It can be two things.
He hasn't done a proper sort of performance, and he wants to. Anyway, what have I rolled? 23.
Ooh.
This is 23. Yeah, again with the high rolls today. So you sort of grace your way up onto the stage. Remind me what you're wearing: the bolero jacket and Spurs kit.
And yes, but also a cloak, basically looking like a pirate, with the bits of gunpowder in the hair, which means that there's a sort of plume of smoke going around him. So he can make the entrance, certainly.
That vision ascends. There's steps to the side of the stage, so you don't even have to do it the less graceful way of sort of hauling yourself up the front. You sort of ascend, joining in at just the right moment. They look at you a little bit like, what's happened here? They go with it because it's helping in the performance sense. They're still there's definitely you get the definite side eyes. You go up there, but they're keeping the happy face on. You join in with the song. You're not quite sure where to stand with the dancers, but with your performance role like that, you at least get yourself out of the way in good time, even if you're not in perfect synchronicity. Yeah. At the table, what is he doing? Anyone know? Is this normal behavior? It's not normal behavior, to be clear. It's not normal behavior, but is this a bit?
Yeah, I think this is normal for him.
Viorica sings beautifully and likes to share it with people.
Oh, no, he has a lovely voice, but it's sort of more decorum, just sort of waltzing. Well, not waltzing, I don't know what that was, but it certainly wasn't a waltz, I'll tell you that. Smouldering up onto the stage and taking it, Sometimes you just have to put yourself out in front. I can respect that, at least.
I would like to say it's interesting for a dead drop that we're in such a public place. I would have thought somewhere a bit more private would have been.
Oh, whoever said anything about
choice.
a dead drop, dear lady? This is very much a very lively drop. I like a bit of occasion. I like to look my business colleagues or business partners in the eye when I'm transacting with them, but we'll come to that. At the point when Viorica got up, that was the point when Pentatton was about to start talking over the performance, because he's like, oh, this is a bit off. But you cut him off by getting up, and you've interested him enough to watch to see how it goes. You finish the number. What is your exit strategy here? the dancers start filing off the stage.
I want to go over, kiss the dancer's hand, turn and give a double bow, and then go off, and then just disappear off stage. Like
you get a decent round of. Are you going off the front the way you came, or are you going back?
Yeah.
Like the sort of
No, off the front the way I came back.
You get a decent round of applause. It's just as well you didn't go at the back, because you see that you catch sight as you're going down of the soloist giving you death eyes just from the wings where she was waiting to collar you, but you just gracefully swoop down the front and rejoin the table.
Yeah.
Well, that's something you don't see every day.
I'm sorry, I felt that her timbre was slightly off, and I thought I could help.
Well, I hope that they agree. The crowd seem to like it, so if you're giving the people what they want, they'll usually give you a fair ride. He glances up to see what the next performance is, and it appears to be a hefty tiefling woman doing I guess kind of a baton twirl with a big stick. Like, she knows how to handle the big stick, but it's not graceful. It's a bit of an odd one. Like, there's definitely like it's a bit pantomime after the all singing, all dancing of the last number. Pentatton immediately is like, oh, so shall we talk business? Let the dog, as it were, see the rabbit. Do you have something for me? Is what I'm saying.
Oh, not a rabbit.
No, it was a metaphor, my dear. It was just a figure of speech, you know? If you could show me the merchandise.
I'll be completely honest with you. Earlier today, we already had somebody request to see it before, and what I'm trying to tell you here is that doing this in a public space might put this entire thing in danger.
Oh, don't worry. I'm quite good at discretion. If it's a matter of trust, I will, of course, show you mine.
Please.
Sorry. He holds out a hand. Again, it doesn't look. There's a lot of hand things happening where he's just like, yeah, and he knows whatever we place those right things. One of the, I guess that would be Filler on his right hands him a pouch which he pops on the middle of the table. It has one of those like spinning Jenny rotatey things. He puts it there, leaves his hand on it. If you'd be so good.
Can I insight check him?
Absolutely.
If he's hiding something, gonna pull a thing. I know it's not a lie detector, but still.
No.
That is 19 plus 8, so 27.
Hey.
7. He has an excellent poker face. It is not that good. He got above a 20, but not that high. He's not. He doesn't feel. I mean, he feels iffy to you, but not for this reason. Like he's not trying to pull a fast one. He's like going for a bit of a showman thing. He's building up to something, but you don't feel like he's trying to swindle you with this. Like he's, as far as he's concerned, what he's put on the table is the real deal, and again, honest intentions is not representative of him as a person, but he's trying to be straight up here, or at least he thinks he is.
I need to, for Valka's sake, insight check Baldur and her strategy here. So that's an 8.
All right, I rolled a 6, so you get everything.
Wow.
Okay, that's all right then. Then Valka does not button.
Yep. Bardur's literally just letting this play out. There's no strategy. She's just letting it play out and going with the flow. She puts her hand behind her back. You see her fish around for a bit, and then she pulls out the parcel from seemingly nothing.
Very good, very good. Perhaps you fancy a turn on the stage as well with a bit of a magic act.
I think you'd be quite good at that, Baldur.
In all honesty, the kind of magic I do isn't one for the public.
Oh, she's so mysterious.
If you would, please. Gestures for you to put it on I'll put it on the other end of the spinning Jenny, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm guessing because it was wrapped in a larger box. It was wrapped and held in an inside bit. So I guess you've got that bit out for the sake of not putting a whacking crate on the table. Yeah,
just slowly.
He delicately spins it around and looks in the back. Like he sort of checks in the wrappings, but keeping it like keeping a hand at poker or something like that. He's looking but keeping it hidden as far as possible. You likewise.
I'll do the same, please. Yeah.
There is a crystal it's a purple crystal with a sort of an interesting color gradient throughout it. Like it changes from more of a pinkish to a deep purple at the other end. It has a faint glow as it catches the light, but you're not 100% sure how to evaluate it. It's consistent with what you know and what you've read of things about this demi-plane. Like nothing feels off about this.
Throughout all of this, 355 is sort of watching the stage because they've never seen like a live performance of any sort before, but also keeping an eye on the person that the big Pavarotti type I spied earlier.
Yeah.
And if they have any reaction to seeing this, or
they don't seem to. They're mostly watching the performance. They seem to be enjoying this more than most other people are. And for you, 355. Yeah, this seems, from what you know, this seems like the real deal. This not performance, the thing on the table. So tell me, why do you want it suddenly? I mean, I've got to admit, I've done my research. I had it for a reason back when, but it kind of went nowhere. Does this mean it's time?
We wouldn't want to give away our sources. We are working for an interested party, and they believe. We don't know. We are only the seekers, not perhaps the brains behind the operation.
Well, yes, I believe you.
Well, thank you. But so we do need to get the key just in case everything is coming together.
So you do have a lock for the key. Interesting. Well, of course, no, I wouldn't ask you to give away proprietary secrets, but in the hypothetical scenario that this were your goal, I mean, if you were to, I can offer you something. If you were to give me first shout at anything you brought back, just to pass it before my eyes before it ended up wherever it was, I would pay, a good margin over what you're being offered for the bits that I like and a small consideration for the bits I don't, that you can then go and sell on elsewhere. So if you just consider giving me a first crack at things, then, well, I'm sure we can come to an arrangement about that.
We have your number.
Yes, that's right.
The performance on stage ostensibly finishes. There's a lukewarm applause. The Pavarotti figure is like boisterously applauding, like very enthusiastically. The waiter comes over, hands a note to Penterton and whispers something in his ear. Who's got passive? I'm sure. I think multiple of you have passive perceptions above 20.
Oh, it's not
mine. Is 20.
18.
20 gets it easily. You can make a roll if you want to try and listen in. Otherwise, any of you can.
I want to. I'm a druid and I don't have the highest passive. This is terrible.
Danger,
That's better. That's 26.
Those of you who hit that, you hear the halfling whisper, this note arrived for you, sir. He looks at it and puts it on the table in front of him. Well, I'm afraid there's been a bit of a change of plan. I think we may have to unwind this little deal here. Is the thing still on the table? On the?
No, I've picked it up.
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't. He keeps his hand on the package he's received. So if you would be so good as to hand it over, I'll hand over your thing plus a small consideration for your time. Feel free to order anything you want off the menu, but I'm afraid the deal's come to a grinding halt.
Can we not get some more information on why that has happened? We do understand you must keep your sources private, but what the hell?
Yorica, it's okay. We don't need more information. That message came too late. The deal has been concluded. It's ours now.
I agree. It appears to me that the deal has been completed.
I would agree.
Very well, then I will leave this in your hands. He takes the package off the table, tosses the note over, just to within rough reach of any of you, whoever wants to grab for it.
Sure. I'll grab for it.
All right.
Sleight of hand, or is it just going to happen?
You can just grab it. It's just who wants to take it. The note it's not the finest handwriting you've seen, but it's still written legibly. Hand over the key, and we'll give you the antidote. So you see, we find ourselves in, I believe, somewhat of a fix.
Right. Fascinating. I'm going to pass the note to whoever's next to me, just so it can be passed around.
I take it. I just want to jot something down on the other side, and then put it back on the spinny table, and then just spin it back to them and just wait to see what they say.
What is he looks at you quizzically, picks up the note to that side.
I've written down, hand over the antidote, and I won't have to kill you.
You want me to send this back to the concierge? I don't understand.
This is all very dramatic, but is this suggesting that we're all poisoned?
Well, any of you who drank, could you make Constitution saving throws?
Oh, crap.
Well, I mean, Veracity will just cast, turn to Baldur, place a hand on her shoulder, and cast Lesser Restoration and remove the poison condition.
That's good, because I rolled a 4.
And see if that does anything.
You would have had the poison condition. No, you do not. It certainly, there's a look from Pendleton, like a roll of the eyes as he sees you casting a spell. There's a definite, you get the sense that people have paid attention to this and that words are being had at the concierge station now. But Baldur, you were not poisoned. Anyone else who drank 355, I don't think you can technically ingest things in this way.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
At minimum, you have advantage because you're all forged.
I'm resistant to.
You're resistant to poison damage, and you have advantage against saving throws against. Advantage on saving throws against poison. But I'm happy to say you don't really ingest it.
My highest roll so far today has been a 10 on the die.
It's all Ed. Ed's
with an advantage. My con save is 12.
Right, that's we'll come to that. Who else drank things? Yeah. What?
Sorry, just George. It's your ruling.
Anyway.
Veracity took a sip and sneezed it back out. I don't know if that counts as drinking or not.
Make it with advantage. How's that?
I got a 13.
13.
I got a 9.
9. You can hear the different tones of voice there, can't you? Yeah.
I got a natural 20.
There we go. 12 and above. 12 is enough. 12 is enough to pass. You take a little ding of damage. Well, maybe more than a ding, but let's find out.
Who looks poisoned?
So those who pass the saving throw take, if I do maths in my head, which I can definitely do, 7 points of poison damage. Those who fail, so 12 and above, who I guess Baldur, you would technically take this because the effect, this happens instantaneously. I don't know. If given how quickly Veracity was, no damage, yes. Effects, no. So you take 15 points of damage, and you have the poison condition. The people who failed, the Lesser Restoration will remove the poison condition from Baldur straight away. You continue to feel peaky.
Is that is that 355 and Valka?
355. I think you can't ingest things in this way. And you take. Wait, what did you roll? What was your roll? 12.
12. Yeah.
You passed. So you take.
Oh, okay.
Half of half anyway. So it's it's 3 effectively.
3. Okay.
Because you have half the damage and then you have resistance to poison damage, which reduces it.
Yeah.
Veracity will reach around the table and cast Lesser Restoration on Valka. I think that's everyone. I'm not pointedly leaving anyone out. I think that's everyone. Cool.
I watch where the note goes.
The halfling at Pendleton's call comes to pick up the note. Pendleton opens his mouth to say something to Veracity. I should make a roll for this, really. Yeah. The table in front of you smashes into tiny pieces. What's happened is, from the stage, the tiefling has thrown this stick, this pole that she's been performing with, through the table to shatter this table. And that is the point where we will roll for initiative. Things are happening. So currently Baldur has the key in hand, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Pendleton has the other package, and I will explain other things as we get there. Let me just grab my lovely initiative tracker.
I just want to check, Rebecca,
Yes.
your spell just took away the poison condition, didn't heal anything.
Yeah, it only ends a condition, I'm afraid.
That's fine.
I'll heal you if I have spells left.
I just figured out how to add the poison condition on D&D Beyond. I was like, yay! Oh, okay. I
Don't need it anymore.
Again.
I mean, I could have not cast Lesser Restoration.
No, that's fine. Thank you.
fantastic. I should also roll some initiative for
I think a super sneaky blackmail poison plot would shouldn't be foiled by a level 2 spell.
Yeah. I mean, it's having the right spell, isn't it, though? Having the right spell at the right time.
Sorry, yes, George, this wasn't please throw now harder and scarier things.
The poison is the poison's not the least of your worries. I mean, it is now. The poison is now the least of your worries. Let me just quickly roll up some other people.
No, we don't need other people. It's fine.
Has anyone got higher than a 20 in their initiative score? No, 15 or higher? 15,
17.
what have you got? 17. And for Viorica?
16.
16 for Viorica. Anyone higher than a 10? Or 10 or higher, I should say. Yes, what do you got?
11.
11.
Are you in a 5 again, Niall?
And 10 for me.
5 or higher?
I got a 7.
7 for Barda.
And 10, sorry.
Oh, yeah, 10. Cool, okay. 355, so that means this person is here.
Rolls have not been on our side this game.
Not for me.
It's been on Viorica's side. I think that's it's all in the performance. Let's just quickly add that one.
Not performing anymore, though. These swords don't bend.
What's the last one I have to roll? That one. Ooh, okay. Who am I missing? I'm missing that person. Okay, yes. Cool. So just to give you the lay of the land, you kind of have to turn on something. You're at the front table of this area. There's a little sort of open dance floor in front of you. On the stage is this tiefling who has just thrown this a staff through the table. The Pentiston and his 2 accomplices are still seated at the table across from you. The halfling waiter is like right there going like, and the general and sundry patrons are all around. From the door you came in, the sort of corridor, you have seen Loom, the troll, come through with a surly look on his face because someone's been doing their magic in here. Although I feel like he probably have more to deal with in about 5 seconds' time. I think that's an accurate summation. So the Veracity, you're up first, in fact. Yes.
So a stick is just a very big heavy stick has just smashed our table. There's a very aggressive looking tiefling. Is there anyone else looking like an enemy?
What is your passive insight? Like Pentatton and go ahead. Tell me your passive insight first. In fact,
18.
18. Yeah, Pentatton and his goons are clearly like weighing their options, but on the balance, are probably going to make a grab for things in lieu of figuring out where the antidote is. The halfling waiter is looking shifty.
Interesting. Right, then I am, with my action, gonna jump straight to it and conjure my wildfire spirit.
Yeah, here we go.
Equally the same gooey, waxy, unpeeling in Veracity's shape, this flaming candle figure. It possibly is slightly quicker this time because she knows a bit more what she's doing. And I will ask to put it in between Barda and Pentatton, effectively
on the middle, or I guess where the table was, like in the middle of the wreckage of the table. Yeah,
bodyguarding the crystal, the key.
Got it.
Then that's not a spell, so I can do a spell for my bonus.
Correct.
I will yell over to Valka, "Don't die!" and cast Healing Word.
Hey.
Which is 1d, but 5. That is 8 points of healing.
Sweet.
That'll do.
Very much.
And then I will, as a free action, go, I think the waiter's got something to do with it, and point over to the halfling waiter. They're looking shifty.
Yes, their pronouns are they, them, for correct, yes.
And then for my movement, how far away from me is the angry tiefling?
They're on the stage. The stage is, you could get to the edge of the stage in one movement distance, about 30 feet. They are up a bit higher, so you couldn't reach it in one movement as it is. So they're about 45 feet away from you, approximately.
I have ranged spells, and I'm hoping we're going to... Yes, and then if I can still have a tiny bit more free action, I'll go, are we running or fighting? And then I will stay put. I won't move.
I I've written down? Viorica, there we go. I wrote down the name and I just wrote it as a series of squiggles. Viorica, it is you next.
Okay, so the person on the stage has been aggressive towards us and 45 feet away, did you say?
Yeah, give or take, yeah.
In which case, springing to his feet and drawing out his sword cane, he's going to put it to his lips and deliver, I don't know how this is going to come across over Zoom, but he's going to do one of those through the sword cane and cast Shatter on the... but the point where Shatter is going to resonate from is right in the middle of this person's head.
Oh. Make it so it's is Shatter a Constitution saving throw? Am I correct?
Yes, 16.
All right. Let's see what we get. They get an 18, so they presume they take half damage from that.
Yes, unfortunately. Yes. And the damage is... and it's also everybody within 10 feet of that.
Yeah, there's no one else, thankfully. It will probably smash the stage a tiny bit. Like, it'll be a little sort of grenade going off on the stage.
Yeah, the idea is to intimidate as much as anything else.
Whoa, how much damage do you deal? It's 3d, I think, but roll it and halve it.
That's outrageous. I got an 8, a 7, and a 7 on 3d8, so it's 11 damage in total. That's not bad for a pass save. Let me put that on here. Perfect. That's your action. Any bonus action, movement, anything else like that? To be clear, the crowd are very much reacting to it. They were reacting from this first smash, but the appearance of Veracity's wildfire spirit has had people scrambling to their feet, and the explosion on the stage, and the sort of they probably give them there's a tiefling a solid knock on the head, and some purplish blood spews out. Like, it's not a bad wound, but it's one of those sort of annoying bleedy head wound type things. The people are starting to. I mean, they haven't had the chance to do things yet. They are starting to scatter and rampage / stampede kind of thing. Yes. Wow. Okay, so Viorica is... Yes, so he wants to get in between, in the same way that Veracity put her wildfire thing in between Pentiston and the thing. I want to do the same thing, but this time trying to vaguely protect Pentiston, as in get myself in between Pentiston and the person on the stage.
Okay, yeah, you can move that around. Yeah, there, yeah. Is there any kind of damage, Veracity, Rebecca, from being near your wildfire spirit? You can skirt around it. I just want to know if Viorica has to.
Yeah, I think maybe there is. I can forget again. Each creature within 10 feet of the spirit, when it appears, has to do a dex save or take 2d6 damage.
Do you want to have put it close enough to deal damage to people? We can resolve it now if you want to. But it's reasonable here that you might not have.
If it's within 10 feet of the waiter, does that?
It will definitely be within 10 feet of both Pentiston and the two goons, which is fine. You can do that. It's up to you.
They were rude. I'm fine with that.
I will make dex saves for all of them. Dex saves for rudeness.
If they'd been a little bit politer, then...
that is an 11 for Pentiston and 2 12s for the
I think
goons.
it's against my DC. Yes, they all fail.
Yes, it should be. And then the waiter gets a 6.
Right.
No, sorry, it's slightly more than that. It's still 9. It's 9, but...
Perfect. So then they all take 2d... So only 2d6. It's not terrible.
We can just make one and apply.
2 6s. So they take 12 fire damage.
All take 12. Doing maths in my head always goes great.
Yes, after that has happened, unless I'm missing something, it doesn't burn you for skirting around it.
Fine, yeah. So Viorica can pass without a problem.
Yeah. So that's a very long answer to a very short question.
It was an effective and comprehensive answer. So Viorica, you move around. You can put yourself close to. You can interpose yourself a little bit with between Pentiston, who is badly singed actually. Like, he's not a very hearty individual when it comes to actual physical confrontation.
That's what I mean. So what I'm trying to do is sort of be like, we're still on your side, promise.
Yes.
With whoever this person is. Sorry, just to be clear, it's a tiefling on the stage.
Yes.
And it's a girl?
Yeah, a female tiefling. Or a tiefling uses she, her pronouns. I think it's more specific.
Yes, gotcha. Just wanted to make sure I got that right.
Yes, cool. That's correct. Thank you, Viorica. Did you use a bonus action? I can't remember if you did. You don't have to.
No, I didn't, and I'm not going to. I've already come as well.
Loom the troll coming from the door is now content. The crowds haven't started sweeping through yet, but is definitely like assessing the situation because it's changed from what he thought was happening, which he was going to kick out someone for doing spells, and now it's like, we have a situation. Sorry, we have a situation. And is therefore moving towards you, but can't reach it. Isn't going to dash, isn't going to upend things that way, but is making progress. Valka, assuming this is you.
I'm assuming that the waiter has not had time to run off yet.
Not yet.
No. I'm going to rage.
Okay, yep.
Oh. This has been a bad thing.
And then Valka is... I mean, it took her... I would say the reason why she was third in this queue is it took her a moment to figure out, oh, hang on, they're poisoned too. It's not that they poisoned. Right, okay. Because that's the thought process Nat also.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I had. Yeah.
And Valkyra's just going to throw herself at the waiter, like full body grapple to the floor.
Nice.
All right. So you're trying to literally grapple them and stop them from moving.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sit
so
on
you
them.
make an athletics make an athletics check against their acrobatics or athletics. It's going to be acrobatics. Oof, I'm rolling like me. So.
I'm nat 20.
Not 20. They got a 14, so they are clearly they were more ready than you thought, in that they were like they have technically had their turn, but they were primed to do something else reactively. They weren't expecting you to just barrel them down like that because they thought they were still like in incognito. They are very wriggly, but you managed to get a firm grip on them, and their speed is reduced to 0. They are grappled. I think that replaces one of your attacks. So if you want to. Because you have extra attack. Yes, that's you do because you're a barbarian. So you may do something with that if you wish.
Headbutt them.
I don't want to over squish.
Fair enough.
She's gonna now. She's grappled. She's gonna grab him by the neck. It was they. Sorry. She's gonna grab them by the neck. Where is the antidote? Okay,
they're definitely hamming it up. Like you're not. You're like,
okay. Well, then she's gonna
you go.
Squeeze a little bit tighter. Sorry.
They are stalling. You're welcome to turn that into an attack if you wish. As in, like you can attack. You can take their non-cooperation as a reason to attack if you want to. They are essentially stalling by not giving an answer and pretending to be too choked to speak, even though you're not.
How brutal is Valka?
You can do non-lethal damage.
No, I can, but I'm trying to think what's a non-torturousy way.
This is still a fight. Like they're not incapacitated. They are still like moving. They will be actively on. It's not their turn, but they will be actively. They are moving around. Like you've not got them helpless and in that regard. Like it is still a sort of mutual combat situation, I guess.
I think she's going to not release the throat, but loosen it so they can't move, but they can definitely breathe. So there's no excuse for making that. And she's going to pinch their ear. Really hard.
I guess make a.
Go, mama.
Either just a straight. Make an attack roll. Why not? Like you're proficient with.
With
unarmed
what?
attack, isn't it?
You're definitely proficient with pinchy ears. So yeah, you can make it as an armed attack. I think that's good.
That's an 18.
18, that will hit. Yes, I mean it will hit.
Okay.
So you can deal non-lethal pinchy damage if you wish as part of that, or you just do it for effect. You don't have to damage. Like you can just do it for effect.
I would like to just do it for effect, but to the point that they know that I could rip the ear off if I chose.
Yeah, they've been like hamming it up, being quite cocky so far. I'm like, ow, stop that.
I'll only ask one more time.
Got it. Well, we'll come to that on their turn. Anything else? You've got a bonus action if you want. I don't know if you can do anything useful.
Did I not? Was raging not?
Oh yeah, no, you're right. And for the record, have you drawn your axe? You don't have to. Again, nothing you've done requires you to have drawn them.
No, not yet.
Fine. 355. Is you? I'm going to do the thing where I hold up the miniature so I can see it. There you go. Hides behind this. They don't hide behind their fire shield.
Is the Pavaroi type doing anything?
Not so far. They still seem to be in their seat. I mean, the audience haven't gone yet, so everyone is sort of nominally in their seat. But they don't appear to do nothing. They don't. You can try and scrutinize them if you want. What's your passive insight? How about
that? Not great. 13.
Fine. They seem swept up in the general crowd. You can't pick anything out.
They don't look like they're about to.
You know where they are anyway.
Start attacking us. In that case. I guess I'll just it's an action to create my packed weapon, so I do that.
Is it a bonus? I thought it was a bonus action.
No, it's an action to create it.
Is that creating it or summoning it? Because there is a difference.
That's a point, actually.
I'm pretty sure you can summon it as a bonus action. I think it's if you don't have one, then you have to take an action to do it.
Double check that then. I should have read it.
Packed weapon. I mean, I can't see it either.
Just you use your action to create a packed weapon in your hand.
Yes.
It disappears if you use the feature again, or if I dismiss the weapon. So it seems to always take an action.
Okay, fair enough.
I guess so. Bard has got the key. So I guess my focus is sort of protecting that. So what is it? Who does anyone look like they're about to attack Barda and try?
I mean, the goons, the goon squad, the dwarf goons are definitely. I mean, they don't look super excited by the prospect, but they're definitely economically motivated, if nothing else, to do so.
Okay. In that case, I will get myself between Barda and the goons. Create my packed weapon in my hand.
What form do you summon for your packed weapon?
Today I'm going to make it. I was a longsword last time. Let's make it. It was a great sword. Sorry, I'm going to make it a great axe today. Just sort of. Yeah, again, the material that sort of makes up my outer shell, as it were, sort of extends and morphs and creates a big double-headed great axe in my hand. And as a bonus action, I have a spell that I can do, Spirit Shroud, which means I call forth the spirits of the dead, which in 355 terms means that actually it's lots of little compartments in my shoulders and over my back kind of just open up, and loads of tiny little drones come out and kind of swarm in a sort of ethereal shapes and sort of float and spin around me, which doesn't have any immediate effect, but it's after when I attack things.
Got it. Okay, you're geared up, fully in defensive stance, blocking access to Parda. After you, it is Penton and the goons. Penton gets to his feet, as do the two goons. Sort this out, will you? Stalks away, trying to find the nearest exit. He appears to be heading for a different exit that the general crowd is gravitating towards. Like, he obviously knows a back way out, or doesn't know the layout at all. It's possible, I guess. The two goons look at each other, give the long-suffering look of goons to one another, and step forward. They draw the axes. I actually have to roll for that because they had them wrapped at the entrance. They both. Well, one of them fails to break the wrapper. The other one pulls it clear of this binding thing, and it goes off like a sort of. There's strips. I mean, this is going to translate for Americans, but this strip of you get in crackers, Christmas crackers, little sort of the pull strips that go bang and have a little light. It would be like that, but much brighter and louder, like a flashbang. Except in this place, which is so bright, it's a little sort of little smoke cloud of darkness with a big sort of null sound thing. It definitely would draw a lot of attention were it not for the fact that there's already a lot happening. So this one yanks it free and breaks it. The other one is still struggling against this thing because it is moderately strong. They square up to you, 355, as a sort of. I guess they have to go past the wildfire spirit first. They are going to. They're going to look at it, decide that's too much hassle, try and walk around. They'll take a longer route, sidling near the whole the Valka halfling pile, skirting around. And there's a definite reluctance as they sort of walk up to 355, look at you and all right, fine. And they're going to take a swing at you. Let me grab their stats. because I have too many things open. I'm going to make a roll. Let's see what happens. That's a pretty respectable roll. It is a total of 20.
Yeah, that hits.
So that does hit, and a roll damage. That is 8 damage, 8 slashing damage from the axe.
Okay.
They crack in. They sort of hover near you. They're definitely like, they thought, they're used to going through people more quickly than that. Like, they're not used to dealing with sort of hardened types. That's their turn. Baldur, you are next.
How far is Penton?
He's moved. He's spent his whole time moving, so he'll have moved about 60 feet. He's heading for a door towards the back. You've got a line of sight that you're not got a clean line of sight. Like, you'll probably have some effective cover from the fact that there are tables and people and all the rest. But you can still see where he is.
Bardur's just going to leap from her chair and start sprinting 30 feet towards him, and then bonus action Misty Step 30 feet to get to him.
You can catch him, yeah.
Would I be able to, as a free
run over
action,
several tables?
Yeah, skipping. Would I be able to, as a free action, put the box back in my bag?
It's not a big interaction. Yeah, that's fine. Like the equivalent of drawing a weapon. Yeah.
I'm confused by. So you're going after the person who we're trying to get the thing away from, aren't you?
No. I've got an idea. I'd like to pull my sword out and just put it when I appear in front of him in a shadowy mist. Just look at him and just say, "Call off, you guys," or at least get them to stop attacking my friends. Oh, I should probably do that in Bardur's voice. Call off your friends, or at least get them to stop attacking my friends.
How about you get me the antidote, and then we'll talk about calling anyone off.
You're not in a position to bargain right now.
What are you going to do?
I pull out my scimitar and just put it right on his neck.
I see. That's what you're going to do. No, come on! Don't be hasty. You'll be making a terrible mistake, making an enemy of me.
Can I just say to him, "We can help each other if you let me. So please don't make me cut your head off. Just tell your friends to help my friends, and we'll get the antidote together."
Make an intimidation check. This is definitely an intimidation check.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm just casting Misty Step, so that's done now.
Oh yeah.
Can't be an enemy of him if he's dead.
Yeah, that's the next.
You underestimate the indignancy of people with lots of money.
And he underestimates Bardur's willingness to chop his head off. 8.
I mean, he got a 6, so I'm going to be outside for the next 5 minutes. Bring me the antidote, or you'll be hearing about this. Like he's clearly cowed, is playing off. He gives a whistle, and from those who can see, the two dwarves, they they pause, parsing the new instructions, and they're going to not attack you. They haven't necessarily received any other orders yet.
Nice.
He'll look at you expectantly to wait for you to take the sword away.
Yep. Straight away, just back in its sheath, probably pull out the bow and arrow if I can.
Cool. Next, it is the tiefling on the stage who's going to vault off said stage and come running in. Where are we? They got to use their action to dash. They're going to dash back into range. They're going to pretty much pile into the middle of this melee and snatch up the staff. Like they don't have an action spare to do anything else with they can't attack or anybody, but they're big and broad. Like they looked big on the stage. They're definitely like this is Valka levels of brawn kind of thing. In fact, there's sort of a look as they run over, like, oh, there's a sort of like a collegiate like sizing you up. Oh, okay, interesting. Wow. They're pretty much going to grab
before when she come out on stage. Valka would have had a similar hey, not now. Now she's busy.
Yeah, now his game face is on. Yes, this tiefling does seem to have the same approach, but snaps up the staff and is in like a battle-ready stance. But that is some of their turn. The bottom of the round, the patrons will start surging towards the main exit. A few of the cannier ones seem to head the way that Penton was going. So there's clearly like some other way that some people know about, but mostly they're just heading for the door, which means they start flooding round Loom the Troll, which is going to be an impediment to him getting on. The Pavarotti type stands up and is moving slowly towards the group. Like they're not charging in, but he's moving that way bound. Top of the round is the halfling, who only readied an action last turn that didn't come to fruition. They are going to try and slip out of Valka's grapple, which requires them to use their action to escape. They're going to make an acrobatics check, contested by your athletics or acrobatics. They have rolled very high, because I actually rolled good for once.
I've rolled a 24.
27.
Oh no!
Oh.
Yeah, they rolled a natural 20 to be fair as well, which couldn't possibly be any higher. But they give you a cheeky grin, stick their tongue out at you, wriggle in just the right way to dislodge dislodge your hand from their ear, their ear from your hand. Sort of grab the front of your outfit and sort of slide through your legs and push themselves up to their feet. They're going to come up with a run. What's that?
Sorry.
I mean, bearing in mind the front of her outfit at the moment is a black leather corset, that's quite inappropriate.
Yeah,
Laces. They hold on to the laces. It's fine.
They're trying to find purchase. They're not trying to do anything untoward. Yeah, right. Yeah. They do the slide through the legs, come to their feet. They come up at a sort of brisk pace. They scan the crowd, frown. Bar you're in view, they sort of lock onto you and go, They are going to move that way. They haven't got that much movement, but they're going to sort of try and put themselves between Bard and the rest of the group. You've got enough latitude to go around them if it comes to it, which brings us to Veracity.
Right. First things first, I realise I missed a thing because I'm still new to wildfiring, but George, it's up to you if you let me do it or not. I healed Valka when my wildfire spirit was cast, which means I could have rolled an extra d8.
Oh, so
Valka's hit points.
Yeah, do it now. I mean, it's
Sure.
not doesn't materially change it. I think so that's fine with me.
Thanks. I just like Barb being alive, you know?
Yeah.
You get an extra 3 hit points.
Wait, you said Bard. Was that to me or to Viorica?
Sorry, Barb.
Barb. Great. Yeah, I will take them. Thank you.
Great. And then, right, I'm going to split my attention. For my bonus, I'm going to... Assuming Valka is willing, then I am going to use tell it to use fiery teleportation, which teleports the spirit and Valka to where the halfling is.
Like it.
Yes, it'll go immediately after you, but you have issued the...
So that's what I will tell it to do. And then for my turn, the tiefling looks like she might be demanding my attention. So I would like to unload a Scorching Ray, all 3 into her, please.
Oh, sure, yeah. Roll 3 attack rolls, I guess, yes.
Cool. What do I add? 1 is a dirty 20.
That will hit, yes.
1 is an 18.
That will hit.
And 1 is less good, that's a 15.
The 15 does not break. Classic connects but doesn't. Yeah, armored rather than dexterous is this one, as evidenced by the performance. But yes.
So that is 2 hits. So that is a 7 for 1 and an 8. So 15 points damage
15
total.
points of damage. Thank you. Mark that on. They don't seem that phased by. I mean, they are phased. Like it's a chunk out of their health, but they're like they grunt, but they're still like battle ready. They're used to taking knocks, it seems.
And then for my movement, I will, again, head kind of towards Baldur, but not leaving anyone. I don't know who's still with me. I'm not going to leg it.
Still there.
Okay.
Biorica, I think.
Well, 355 can look after themselves and Biorica. So in that case, I will kind of head as far towards Baldur as I can whilst keeping the tiefling in range.
Oh yeah, you can get halfway there. You can catch up with the halfling if you want, because they didn't go too far. I guess they would. I guess they could. Yeah, so you can catch up with them if you want. But
sure.
You're just behind them. Yeah. So you're close by.
Great. Then Sparky goes next, and so the halfling needs to make another dex save.
And this teleports Valka along with.
If she is willing.
Yes.
That's a 25 on the dex save.
Ah! Fine. There's no damage.
Because I stopped rolling so badly. Okay, yeah.
I need to redo my curse.
Turns around, shit, does a forward roll to avoid being caught in the sort of the conflagration of the pressure wave, the heat wave that comes off this thing.
Do we still move or not?
Yeah, it's just the
Oh, no, George, I misread. It's each creature within 5 feet of the space the spirit left, not where the spirit arrives.
Okay, yep.
Is it within 5 feet of the tiefling?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay.
I will make that roll again.
If you're sure, then...
Yeah, no, it's fine. I like a simple life where I just make decisions and move on. 8.
Yeah.
So that is damage.
Then she takes...
All of the fire on this particular tiefling.
What is my proficiency bonus? Da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. It's there, okay. 7 whole points of damage.
Good stuff. I've marked that on. That was your wildfire spirit, Viorica.
Okay, so where is Viorica in relation to everybody else? He tried to position himself between the tiefling and Penton. The tiefling then came much closer, and Penton went much further away. Is that right?
Pretty much. The tiefling is now in the middle of where the table was, so we're sort of between those of you who are still standing there. Penton dashed towards a back door. Baldur followed, so you can see where Baldur and Penton are. You don't have a clear line of... You can see them for the purposes of things that don't require, like, blasting. But they're within 60 feet of you. Almost exactly.
So, do I know that Baldur was the last person with the key?
Yes, I assume so.
Cool. In which case, I am just going to sprint over to use my action to sprint over to them, try and catch Baldur by the arm, and go, "Shall we leave now?" And then, then I'm just going to cast healing word on myself. I think. No, I'm not going to do that yet. No, I'm not going to do that yet. Okay. I am going to. You bastard. Sorry, I'm just seeing what else I can do. Oh no, I don't have anything else that's a bonus action. Fair enough. I'm not going to heal myself yet. It'll be fine.
Cool. After you, the troll loom is now contending with the swarm of people moving past it. Like, if you could make your way in an orderly fashion. Yes, if you could make your way. Yes. Trying to say it to each individual. After that is Valka.
Could I use my free action to have grabbed to unsheathed my axes before I was teleported?
That's fine. You can do it now. Sure.
As I was teleported, or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You have your axes drawn now.
Yeah, sure. So Veracity's fire thing has suddenly made her appear in front of the halfling waiter, which she was a little bit startled by, but fine. So her reaction is very much like, "Oh, nice try," and her axes are out. And I'm going to roll for it first to see how it goes, and then describe what the intended action is. If that's all right.
Yes.
So. Okay, good. That is 26 and a 25.
To do what? To hit? Yes.
To hit.
Yes. Yes.
Fine. Good. And okay, well that's okay. So that's a 5 and a 9. And the way that this works is that Valka is going to use her first hand, her right hand axe, to slice at the halfling's legs to knock them to the ground, and the left hand, so wham, and the left hand comes down and around, bonk, straight on the head.
Wow, yeah. Well, they managed to turn themselves on the second attack to they use a reaction to reduce the damage slightly. So they are up and moving. They're a nimble little so and so. But yeah, you clobber them quite handily.
With that though, because I'm a slasher.
Yes.
Their speed is reduced by 10 feet. I'm a slasher.
Oh, I thought you said flesher and was like, I beg your pardon.
That also.
The old dual class flasher slasher. Just going for flasher slasher, but we've now coined the flasher. Okay, yes.
Yeah. So their speed is reduced
by 10.
By 10 feet. think that is all I can do at the moment. Oh no, 2-weapon fighting, so I can attack.
Oh, you can do your bonus action, and the speed reduction just happens. That's not contingent on any saving throw or anything.
Nope. That's
Excellent.
until the start of my next turn. They're
Great.
just slower.
Perfect.
Okay, so bonus action attack is 23 to hit.
23 to hit will also hit.
5 damage.
5 damage. It's all adding up. I think they're not quite bloody by this point. They haven't taken a huge amount. But they're just stacking up, and they clearly do not like taking hits, being clobbered, and having their ear pulled. And yes, they're not having a good time here. They're unhappy about it.
But as she's doing it, if the bonk hasn't knocked them out, and the third attack has come in, she would say, "This can stop any time if you just tell us where the antidote is."
Fair enough, yeah. 355, you're up next.
So there was the kind of dwarf guard henchman that I was engaged
Yes, they've
with.
stopped attacking you now.
Right.
They haven't worked out what else they're doing next, but they have stopped attacking.
Okay. And I'm close to the tiefling, presumably still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're right there.
I guess I'll just attack the tiefling with my Pax Great Axe, which I can do twice because of a thing. What was it called? Thirsting Blade.
Thirsting Blade.
So yeah, 2 attacks. One of them. Are you kidding me?
Is
Rolls
that good
on the
enough?
die, a 2 and a 3, which makes that an 8 and a 9.
Yeah, they do not hit. She just stands and weathers your attacks, moving her staff up to just parry them gently out of the way without too much effort, while concentrating on what's going on around her.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Anything else?
No.
Cool.
No.
Penton's goons haven't received further instructions, so they're backing off, but they're not doing anything else. We are rapidly running out of time, but Baldur, it's time for you to take your turn.
Is the halfling moving away from Valka, or does it feel like
They haven't taken their turn yet. They feel like they were, like they moved towards you on their turn. On their turn.
I'm blocking that exit, aren't I?
You're between the halfling and the exit, but you're not blocking the exit because Penton hadn't reached it yet. Yes, Ed, sorry.
Only just that I asked Baldur a question
True, you
at
did.
the end of
Good
my
point.
turn. It's just if you want to answer it.
What was it again?
I just said, shouldn't we go? As in, because you've got the thing that we need, and Viorica's vibe is, okay, we've got this. This is dangerous. Let's get the fuck out of here, kind of thing.
Bardur's going to start to move back towards the door with Penton and presumably Viorica, and just turn to Viorica and be like, if we don't get that antidote for that guy, he's going to be big trouble later. And I'm going to Hunter's Mark the halfling,
Yeah.
Nice.
and then take a shot at the tiefling.
Cool. Do it. Make a roll. Make a attack roll.
So I pull out my bow and arrow and make some fuck.
Everything is falling apart.
Hey G, I'm with you there, man. So I got a 12 for the first one and a 16. Is that right? Yeah, 16 for the.
The 16 will hit. So the first one she just steps at the right time and avoids it. The second one impacts.
Cool beans. I think that's just wow, I haven't written down my. Damn it, I think it's a D. Is it a D8 for a long
Is it a
bow?
short bow or a long bow? Long bow is a D8.
Cool. So that is 10 points of damage, please.
10 points.
To the tiefling.
Yeah.
Some arrows.
You firing away. Cool. It is the tiefling's turn next, and let's get past that a little bit because we're running out of time. What is happening now is that the next two people to go are the halfling and the Pavarotti individual. The halfling is going to produce with a flick of their wrist a little, it's probably a medium-sized bottle to be fair, of a bluish liquid, flick it up into the air and attempt to peg it towards the exit. We'll leave that tumbling through the air at the same time as it's stabbing, for the sake of argument. The Pavarotti individual, I should just call him Pavarotti at this point, but I mean, we'll keep it going. The person in tailcoats comes marching towards the tiefling. Will reach a hand out for, put it on her shoulder. It's time. And will cast a spell with a word. As they are dimension dooring away, their Pavarotti will drop the disguise spell that's up and reveal their actual form for a brief second. They are a humanoid enormous, barrel-chested skeleton with a beard made of crow feathers and gems for eyes. They give one last look at Baldur before they vanish. And that is where we'll pick it up next time, with the antidote spinning through the air and two of the brigands escaping. Cool. I'm going to rattle through the things we have to say because we're nearly out of time. Thank you so much to these lovely players. Thank you so much to our lovely audience. Thank you for joining us and watching and playing with us. Yes, you can see us back here every Monday, same time, twitch.tv/D&D, twitch.tv/rolltogetherrpg. We're on social media everywhere on that same address, rolltogetherrpg, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Come and check out our Patreon. Come and join the D20 Club. All our shows are now available as podcasts. You can hear this. Maybe you're listening to this as a podcast. Who knows? You do. That's who knows. Thank you. A final thank you to our sponsors, Hero Forge and Ultra Pro. Go check both of them out. And to our supporters, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, Level Up Dice, and Warriors of Waterdeep. Thank you very much for your support. And D&D Beyond, of course, without which I would find it much harder to track everything. That's all we've got time for. Sorry for the rushed outro, but we're out of time. So thank you so much. Thank you all.
Thank you, George.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, George.